safely, yes. Right, yeah. That's my final answer. Cooking safely. I'm terrible.
I am a straight donation station in Jupiter.
If you're low on cash, Paul saw him.
Give us a moment, FP. Give us a moment. Right in the middle.
Yeah. Sweet.
Can we just please stop saying this a moment ago?
Subtle signs that you're playing with a stick.
A bag? You want me to be intimidated by a fucking bag? What is up, golf sickos? A little golf clap because it is Masters Week, a very demure, very mindful golf clap. It's a callback to last year. It's the most wonderful time of the year. Our 9-month abyss with no major championships, no men's major championships, is over. It's officially Masters Week. Ben and I are going to do a mega show today. There's my man, Ben Moscovich, right there. We are going through every single player in the field. We're not really sure how this is going to go. We started 30 minutes early today to give us a little bit of time to make our flight down to Atlanta, and then we drive to Augusta. But it's going to be an adventure for all of us. We're going to get into that. Again, every single player in the field will be discussed and analyzed live on this program called Dan on Golf, presented by Knockaround. But first, before we get into that, we're going to do a couple things because things happened this week. It wasn't like it just went quiet. JJ Spaun from absolutely nowhere. So coming into this week, it was always going to be a very interesting year for JJ Spaun, because he went from being essentially a journeyman pro to a major champion, won a U.S. Open at Oakmont last year, which is as legit as it gets. Plays in the Ryder Cup. And it's one thing if you're a young player, you're 24, you win a U.S. Open, like you haven't had the experience of being anything but a stud. And so you just that's the normal for you. But JJ Spaun had 10 years as a professional, as a guy who was, keeping his card. There were a couple wins, but not, this level. And it was always going to be very curious how he reacted to that and what the next year would look like. He had a strong fall. I think he finished really high up there in the Tour Championship. But then it was bad this year. I think he had missed like 4 of 7 cuts coming into the year, or coming into this week rather. And his previous best finish was a tie for 24th in his most recent start at the Players Championship. So he was not really on anyone's radar to win this week. Our guy Rick had Bobby McIntyre, who left it late, but almost did the impossible with an eagle birdie at the end. But the shot that won it for JJ Spaun, who loves a rainy Sunday, Sunday morning, rain is falling. That's got to be JJ Spaun's favorite song. He did it at Oakmont with a drive on a drivable par 4 that was one of the best in U.S. Open history, and he did it again with a shot on a drivable par 4 yesterday at the Valero Texas Open. Let's watch that.
The whole golf world had its head in its lap.
Ooh, here's JJ Spaun. He starts at left. It's cutting toward the drivable par 4 17th. Oh, what a shot. Does it kick forward? Yes,
what
it does.
A shot.
JJ Spaun to about 10 feet for eagle. What is it with Sundays in the rain and JJ Spaun? JJ Spaun from just inside 10 feet to take the solo lead. Can he hoop this on the 71st hole for an eagle? Still a par 5 to come. Yes, he can. Walks it in. JJ Spaun to 17 under. This guy loves a Sunday in some shitty weather. He just loves it. How about these last 4 holes? Birdie, bogey, birdie, eagle. And then 18 was playing as hard as a par 5 can play on the PGA Tour. It was playing like 700 yards. They had a good graphic that was like, I think it was 609 on the card, but uphill and into the wind.
It got up to like 722 or something.
It was like alive. It was clearly like just tied to the wind. So when the wind went up to 19 miles an hour,
I would actually love to see how much over par that hole played like during that last 40 minutes of the...
Yeah, that's information we could find.
Yeah.
Well,
later. We'll look it up on the way.
We'll look it up on the way.
Anyway.
But yeah, and so JJ gets to that hole, and most of the times when these guys are going to a par 5, you're thinking they're just going to whack it up there in 2 and chip it on the green. And he had a decent drive, decent layup, but he tugged his 3rd shot pretty significantly, and it left kind of a dicey up and down, which he made look very, very easy. It was very impressive. And we're lucky on this show because a lot of times we get to talk to the winner of the PGA Tour event right after they won, and this was one of those weeks. Here I am with JJ Spaun.
I know. I hate the rain though.
Yeah.
Like I hate it. Yeah, true.
Congrats.
You're saying that you hate the rain. You're saying that you hate the rain, but I don't know if I believe you. What is it about a rainy Sunday and then that shot on 17? Like rainy Sundays and drivable par 4s on Sundays.
Well, I mean, it was nice to kind of pull that shot out of the memory bank at Oakmont, coming down the stretch here today. But yeah, I mean, I'm a Southern California kid. I hated playing in the rain, but maybe there's something to it. If there's rain in the forecast, maybe I should look more forward to it instead of dreading it.
So the season was not what you wanted coming into this week. I was looking at your results. T24 was your best finish. Now, obviously, you've got still all the majors coming up. But what's clicked? Like, what changed? Probably been working at it a lot, I would imagine.
Yeah, I think it's more like a mental shift. I've been trying to be this perfect golfer after achieving so much success last year, and being this elite player, top 10 in the world. I got to show up. I got to contend. And then when I didn't have a great start to the year, I just tried to change things, fix things, feeling like everything's wrong. But, actually players was the first week where I just said, I'm going to play with what I have. And I know it might not feel great or it might not be great. And it might not be how I want it to be. It might not look like how it did last year, but I know I can still hit a left to right shot and make some putts, and that's what I got to do. And that's kind of what I've been doing ever since the Players, and especially this week, and kind of proving myself that you don't have to play perfect golf to win golf tournaments, and it's just all about getting the ball in the hole.
And that's really interesting because you can prepare for what it's going to be like to win the U.S. Open, but you don't really know how it's going to feel until you do it.
Totally. Yeah, you don't. Yeah. It's just it just happens.
Yeah, well, it happened, and another one happened today. Good stuff, too. We'll see you next week.
All right, Dan. Thanks, bro.
Good stuff from JJ Spaun. I like when guys get honest about mindset change. And it's interesting because we were talking about, how does your mindset change when you win this? You can prepare for it all you want with your sports psychologist. You can sit at home and meditate on it, but until it happens, you don't really know what it's going to affect you.
It's interesting, too. You mentioned he's a lot different than a young guy winning a major early in his career. They're both afflicted by the same disease, which is now I have to do it again. Now I have to be perfect.
Yeah.
That's what JJ
But what I was saying earlier, yes, but also he's probably a little bit of him is I was thinking of this with Max Homa, right? Because Max Homa has been down.
Yeah.
And not just now, but way worse than it is now.
Years, yeah.
And I feel like when you're one of those guys who has the experience of not being a top 10 player in the world, you're like, oh my, am I just falling back into that? Was the win the aberration? So great win for JJ Spaun. Some other notable finishes. We're only going to talk about guys who are not in the Masters because we're talking about every guy who is in the Masters. Matt Wallace. He's a Red, huge United fan. Posted his score 2.5 hours before. It was right when we first went live on the stream. Ended up missing it by one, missing the playoff by one. He's an emotional guy. We saw him, in tears after he didn't make the Ryder Cup again last year. And this was a tough one, I'm sure, to swallow. Wants to play in the Masters really badly. Ryo Hisatsune, another tied for 8th finish. He's also not in the Masters, but having a phenomenal season. Sudarshan Yelamaraju finished tied 14th. This week. So coming into the Players, I think his career earnings, he's a rookie on the PGA Tour, was $300K. He won $925K for a T5 at the Players, $322K for a tied for 6th at the Texas Children's Houston Open, and $159K at Valero. He's made $1.76 million already. Good for you, young man. From the not so fun angle, our boy Neil Shipley missed another cut, missed it by 2. I'm getting a little annoyed, maybe? Not annoyed, that's the wrong word. I'm a little concerned.
Yeah.
I'm a little concerned. Starting to be major season. He's not going to get,
It's going from to
just oof. It was going to okay, this is chill, we're getting to fuck, we gotta get on the horse a little bit.
This guy we thought wouldn't just have a good year. He might win.
But he's not, he's not shooting a gazillion. He's just missing cuts by 1 or 2. Mm-hmm. Max Homa also missed the cut by 1. He is in the Masters this week. So I just broke my rule. Just realized that live on the show.
We'll tell you his top finish, his state of golf ranking later in the show.
Joel Damon shot 4 over, missed the cut. Patrick Rogers shot 9 over. I don't know. I have no idea how that's even possible. All right, let's hop into the Knockaround presented by Knockaround. This whole show is presented by Knockaround. So is this segment, the Knockaround. Look at these. These are the love and hates. I'm going a little special because it is Masters week. You're wearing the panoramas. Those are your go-tos.
Per usual.
You look like one half of the Blues Bros. We got a promo code for you guys. If you go to knockaround.com/golf, use the promo code DanOnGolf20, you get 20% off your order. These sunglasses are incredible quality for an incredible price. Go treat yourself. It's Masters week. It's about to be, summer around the corner in the East Coast and the North.
Golf season has begun.
Yeah, exactly. Buy yourself a bunch of knockarounds. Use the promo code DanOnGolf20, and you will be stunned at just the quality of these sunglasses, I promise you. We're launching something new. We are launching something new this week. The Daily Golf, presented by, no, not presented by. We're not paying the Daily Golf from Dan on Golf. This is going to be a daily podcast from Thursday to Wednesday to Sunday. Thursday
to Sunday.
Thursday to Sunday. It's going to be in your inbox first thing in the morning. We'll record it the night before. Just an update on what's going on. An update on what's going on in the world of golf. You know, who shot what, all the different tournaments around there. Basically, I have, 2 shows a week was not enough for me. So we're going to have something for you basically every day on the podcast feed now. Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. We will have something for you. New content on the podcast feed. So that's launching this week. We're going to do it for the Masters, and we'll see. Maybe we'll do it we'll do it more.
A little something for your commute. You ever driving to work being like, man, I wish I could scroll Twitter right now or look at what's happening in the golf world. Well, we're just going to speak it right into you.
Let me and the team scroll Twitter for you. We'll bring you everything that you need.
Drive safely.
And I have gotten some, messages over the years being like, I want something for the commute. Well, here it is. We got it for you. All right. We're going to bring on now Addie Parker to recap the Augusta National Women's Amateur. Addie, what is up?
Hello, how are you?
I'm fantastic. You're already down there in Augusta. I'm jealous. We'll be there tonight. Tell me about Maria Josefa.
I mean, man, she's a little firecracker. She is probably one of my favorite golfers that I followed at Anwell last year. She missed the cut, but what a redemption story for her. She is 19 years old, goes to the University of Arkansas, and just got it done. She set the championship record at 14 under. She had Maria Fassi, who was a part of the inaugural Augusta National.
I was there. Yeah.
And that was electric. And actually, Maria flew from wherever she was in the world to be with Maria there to celebrate, was rooting her on. They have a really great relationship. So just all around great scenes. But the TLDR of Maria Jose is that she's as legit as it gets. She has not placed outside the top 10 in her last 10 starts, including Anwa. So I think she's someone who we will start to see a whole lot more of. Look forward to her in these next kind of few years. She's definitely one to watch. And she's the reigning NCAA champion. So that also doesn't hurt.
It's a pretty good double to be the reigning NCAA champion and the Anwan champion. Asterisk Tally, she had the lead going into Sunday. It was a bit of a tough Sunday for her. This girl's she's got a huge future, doesn't she?
She does. She's a Stanford commit. I think she graduates next year, 2027. But yeah, Asterisk she kind of blew onto the scene in 2024, was her breakout year at the U.S. Women's Open at Lancaster. And I think what people really need to understand about her is that she's the type of person that she's gutsy. She did what a lot of grown adults wouldn't do, is after a really bad round is talk to the media and be open about how she was feeling with tears streaming down her face. I think a lot of us saw ourselves in her. And so I'm really impressed with how she handled herself given the circumstances.
All right. We got to talk about Bailey Shoemaker. This was the talk of the town during that first round. That video goes viral of her. And I'll admit, when I first saw the video, I thought maybe it can't be real. Maybe it's
you guys
AI.
Done talking about it by the time she hits the shot.
We don't have to roll this whole video. But then there was some information that came out afterwards. They weren't. What was your take on the whole situation? Because it's not good on the ice.
I will say what I want to start off with is that at no point was Bailey ever penalized for her still play. In fact, that at both rounds at Champions Treat for the first and second round, her group was never on the clock.
Yeah.
So you better believe, I was following groups and the rules officials were on them about pace of play. Bailey's group was not one of them. So I think whatever you may feel about the situation, just know that she was adhering to the rules within what she was doing. But you have to understand, this is an injury. This is all a mental block that she's having. And I think we can give a player a lot of grace, and knowing that she's coming off of major surgery that she had in October, and the fact that she's continuously still one of the top players in the women's amateur game is impressive, despite having truly uncontrollable pain for most of last year. Is pretty impressive.
Well, thank you so much, Addie. I'm looking forward to getting down there to Augusta. Good stuff. I appreciate it.
Yeah, appreciate you. See you soon.
Cool. All right, some more stuff that happened in the world of golf. The Schefflers had a baby. Let's golf clap again.
Hey,
Remy. So Bennett and Remy Scheffler.
Dynamic duo.
He was already at Augusta, baby in tow. So perspective boosted, Masters prep unaffected.
Imagine us in 19 years talking about the Scheffler brothers debut.
Bennett and Remy
together, yeah.
In the Ryder Cup. We when we say it with the kids, we make it sound so easy to just get to the Ryder Cup. It's like, oh yeah, Charlie Crew Cup, Ryder Cup. Charlie Woods Ryder Cup. It's hilarious.
We'll revisit this statement later.
Miles Russell missed the cut. So he was going to caddy for Asterisk Tally, but he got into the Lecom Suncoast Classic, missed the cut, but you know what? He's 17, I think, or maybe 16, 17. He's in that range. And he's just like totally not out of place playing on the Korn Ferry Tour. The kids are incredible. A lot of Tiger dash cam footage came out this week. We have the one of the president, I think. Can we roll that? No, we don't. Okay. Yeah, we do.
Thank you. Bye. Say again?
Just keep you down here with us, please.
Yeah, I was just talking to the president.
I mean, that is... I don't even know where to start with that.
It's not what he said. It's
the way he said it.
He throws the phone up. He goes, talking to president.
Yeah, it's just like, yeah, I was just Trump on the phone. Those cops are probably like, what the hell is going on right now?
They're like, oh, great. Now that guy's involved.
That was... I don't even feel like I need to add much more. That's just like a whoa video.
The body cam footage has been. Honestly, if you're a meme maker on the internet, it's been a gift to you. We're not that.
We're not meme makers.
Yeah.
Couple more winners on the Korn Ferry Tour Lecom Suncoast Classic. You might think his name is Jeremy Gandon, but you'd be wrong, I think, because he's French. So I think it's probably Jeremy Gandon.
That was nice.
You like that? Yeah. He got the win. I got a lot of... There's been some pronunciations on the show today. Sudarshan Yelamaraju. Congratulations to Jeremy. And Jackson Coyven. This kid just can't stop winning. The Mason Rudolph Invitational, which is interesting. You know, you don't really expect a backup quarterback to have a college golf tournament, but he does. And Jackson Coyven won it, which is expected in college golf tournaments. His fourth win in his last 6 starts. He's dominating. Just a junior.
That is domination.
Dominating.
Definitive.
Auburn is number 1 in the country. He's number 1 overall. War Eagle. That's what they say down there.
He's making the most of sticking around.
Sticking around. Could have been playing on the PGA Tour. Decided to go back to school. Looks like a pretty good choice. Probably making good NIL money too, and he'll be on the PGA Tour. I'd imagine he would go after this year, but who knows? Kid loves college. All right, here we go. Deep breath.
It's time.
We are going to start to break down every player in the Masters tournament. I'm going to give you all their names because that's pretty important. I'm going to give you their age, their data golf ranking because I'm a data golf guy. I'm not a world amateur ranking either. There's a lot of professionals in this list. I'm not an official world golf ranking guy because I think it's flawed for many reasons.
You're a data guy.
I'm a data guy. Number 91, Fred Couples. He is 66 years old. No data golf ranking because he doesn't play. He plays only senior events. Definitely a star at the Champions Dinner. He's got 11 career top 10 finishes at the Masters and 20 top 25s and 40 starts, but just made the cut once since 2018, a T50 in 2023. He'd be the first to tell you that this course is really long for him. So let's just cherish Fred at Augusta, playing in Augusta while we can. 66 years old. Jose Maria Olazabal, number 90. He is 60, also no data golf ranking. 2-time Masters champion, an all-time short gamer. Made the cut in 2021 and 2024. That's got to be the goal this year. Number 89 is Angel Cabrera, 59 years old. His return to Augusta after a stint in prison was the talk of the town last year. And my guy, Alan Shipnuck's story on him earned Alan his latest Golf Writers Association Award. No, Golf Writers Association of America Award. Mm-hmm. He missed the cut last year, but then he got hot on the Champions Tour. He won back-to-back starts that were somehow both major championships. They have back-to-back majors. Yeah. Playing full-time on the PGA Tour Champions again this year. And when we mention Angel Cabrera and the Masters, we have to mention my favorite shot in Masters history. 2013, pouring rain. Adam Scott's already in the clubhouse. The Australians are celebrating behind the green. He has to back off and say, quiet, please, because everyone's celebrating. It's a 9-iron. I think his son's on the bag. Vuele. This far. Tap in, playoff, badass. Not the golf shot was badass. Number 88, Matteo Pulcini. He's 25 years old. Also no amateur, no data golf ranking because he doesn't play professional events. Actually, career amateur so far. Did 3 years at Oklahoma Christian before transferring to Arkansas. He won in dramatic fashion the Latin America Amateur Championship again, and I think people are going to like this guy. You want to know why? He's a golfer, but he's kind of fat.
Oh, yeah.
Everyone, what a vibe. Like it's, the Drake meme where it's like, no, yes.
Yeah.
It's like a golfer, but he's fat.
He's like 32 inch waist.
Yeah,
like
exactly. But I'm interested what his post-Augusta plans are because 25 years old, amateur, but you win a huge thing like this. Like, do you just stick around as being an amateur? Do you give it a go? I mean,
a lot of options these days.
I was going to say we'll get into that in a second. You can just be a pro and be an amateur after. There's no downside anymore. Number 87, Mike Weir, 55 years old. He won a Masters during Tiger's heyday, so that is big time. There's Tiger handed in the green jacket. Also playing full time on the PGA Tour Champions, but no top 10 finishes there yet this year, and has not made the cut at the Masters since 2020, and before that hadn't made a cut since 2014. Number 86. Vijay Singh, 63 years old. He got a bit of a reaction, including from myself, when he used a one-time career money list exemption to play the season opening tournament in Hawaii. But turns out he didn't really plan on playing full-time. That's the only PGA Tour event that he's played in this year. So I kind of freaked out over nothing. Tied for 40th that week, impressively. And he withdrew from the Masters last year with an injury, so he is back. Number 85 is Jackson Harrington. He finished runner-up to Mason Howell in the USAM at Olympic in the summer between his freshman, and he's just a sophomore at Tennessee. His nickname is the Fridge, which is sweet.
That's awesome.
He's ranked 103rd in the world amateur ranking and number 67 in college golf. But, lefties at Augusta, who knows? Brandon Holtz, 39 years old, won the U.S. Mid-Am, which I called the former Tour Pro Open. It's not his fault. It's something of Brandon Holtz. You take advantage of the rules that are there, but he's a former professional golfer, 6 of the 8 quarterfinalists in the Mid-Am. Played professionally before regaining their status. He went to a bunch of Masters. There's a really nice story here, which is great. It's awesome for him to go from patron to player, but let's not shy away from the fact that the USGA has no spine on this issue, and they just let former tour pros do whatever they want and play in amateur events.
I looked into his pro career, and it made me feel a little differently about the blanket rule, just because he was he maybe played in a couple mini tour events in the Southeast.
He played in a lot of mini tour events. But yeah, no, he wasn't like a corn fairy. But
yeah,
you know how I feel on this issue. If you're a professional golfer, you're a professional golfer.
You have a line, and that's
it's nothing against Brandon Holtz. By all accounts,
he seems like an awesome dude.
Lovely guy. Hope he plays well this week.
Me too.
But the USGA needs to do something. Number 83, that's embarrassing. I was just in Japan.
Oh man,
Naoyuki Kataoka. He's 28 years old. He's ranked 375th. In the Data Golf rankings. He came from 7 behind to win the Japan Open in October. It's his first major championship.
I like that championship.
Fit. Yeah. Good luck, Naoki, this week. Number 82 is FIFA Laupakti, an Arizona State junior. He's a good player. He won the Asia Pacific Amateur to get into the field. And yes, his nickname is inspired by FIFA, the soccer organization. His real name is Pongsapak, but FIFA rolls off the tongue a little bit better. But I kind of like Pongsapak. That's not that hard to say. Pongsapak. Yeah, that's not that bad. 23rd in the world amateur ranking and number 62 in the collegiate ranking. So we go to another amateur at number 81. He's 20 years old, I think. Ethan Fang. The Oklahoma State junior. He's got a big Texas drawl. Plano, Texas. He was a first-team All-American his sophomore year. Played on the Walker Cup team and won the amateur championship at Royal St. George's to get in the field. And this kid, you'll remember, is a full-time cutsman.
Even though he has the drawl.
He's with an L at the end. He does not necessarily have the draw. He'll need one on number 10. But yeah, you'll never see him hit a right-to-left shot on purpose. He's number 7 in the world amateur rankings, but just number 45 in college golf, which tells you how strong college golf is. Number 80 is a kid who is not in college yet, but will be soon. Mason Howell, 18 years old. Reigning U.S. amateur champion. He's a Georgia boy. He'll go to Georgia and play for not Chris Hack anymore. Mookie DeMoss has taken over the Georgia program. He looks the part. He's big, tall, hits it a long way. Beautiful action. Played in the Walker Cup. He's 52nd in the Data Golf amateur rankings and 83rd in the world amateur golf ranking. But again, he's not playing in college events, so it's hard to move up those rankings.
He's your pick for Low-Am.
He is my pick for Low-Am, and he took 3rd in the prestigious Sage Valley Junior Invitational last month. Number 79 is Brian Campbell, 33 years old, ranked 366th in the Data Golf rankings, and he deserves a Nobel Prize. Why? Why does Brian Campbell deserve a Nobel Prize?
Did he do something crazy?
Because he won 2 PGA Tour events in a single year with an average ball speed of 162 miles an hour. Do you know how fucking good you have to be at golf to do that?
Yeah, because I know how bad I am at golf, and that's not far away from my ball
162.
Speed.
He's like one of the slowest out there. His win at the John Deere, though, remains his only top 10 finish in his last 25 starts on the PGA Tour. And his last 5 leading into Valero were miscut, withdrawal, miscut. Number 78, Zach Johnson. Do you know who Zach Johnson played with on Sunday of Augusta last year?
No.
Justin Rose.
Oh, really?
Bro, he finished.
Oh, he was grinding.
He finished T8.
I mean, he's a horse for the course.
He moved to the Champions Tour part of his career. He's off to a flying start. He won his first ever event on the senior circuit and then went T3, T2. That T8 went completely under the radar.
Yeah.
And another piece of trivia for you, he's the last player to win the Masters with an over par final tally.
Oh, interesting.
I don't think that will happen this week. Number 77 is Davis Riley, 29 years old, ranked 360th in data golf. So the good here is he's got an aesthetically gorgeous swing, tied for second out of nowhere at last year's PGA Championship. Remember that at Quill Hollow?
Yeah.
The bad, he's number 360 on the data golf rankings. Missed the cut in 5 of 7 career starts in majors, and his best finish on tour, at least heading into Valero, was a T42 in Puerto Rico. So, struggle bus. He's on the struggle bus. Number 76 is Danny Willett, 38 years old, data golf ranking 448. He's one of the few Masters champions whose game took a downturn almost immediately after putting on the green jacket. I mean, he's won some big tournaments since then. He kind of went down and kind of back and then down. But he simply hasn't been able to reach that top level gear in the States. Remember when Jordan Spieth collapsed, he was the man who slipped on the green jacket. Number 75 is Charles Schwartzel, 41 years old, ranked 159th in data golf. 15 years ago, he won his Masters. Made me feel old. I remember watching that. Middle of the pack on Live Golf in every event so far this year, and his last top 10 in a major came at the 2022 Masters. Number 74, another Live former Masters champion. I guess you're still a Masters champion. You're always a Masters champion, right?
Always.
Yeah. Bubba Watson, 47 years old, 190th in the data golf ranking, 2-time Masters champion. His Live career nearly ended when he finished outside the relegation zone in 2024, only to be offered another contract because, we just kind of make it up as we go along. A T14 at last year's Masters was his first finish better than tied for 30th in a major since the 2019 Masters. Number 73, Michael Brennan. He's 24 years old. His data golf ranking is 112. Wake Forest grad, skyrocketed up the world rankings like end of the summer and the fall. He won 3 times on the PGA Tour Americas, which gets you the immediate promotion to the Korn Ferry Tour, but he never even had to go to the Korn Ferry Tour because he got an invite into the Utah Championship and then had one of the best driving weeks in the history of ShotLink. And that got him way up inside the top 50 of the world rankings, but he's outside the top 100 in data golf, which is...
He's the poster boy for play better.
Yeah. You can always just win a tournament.
Just win.
Yeah. So yeah, he's got all the speed in the world, but it's been a struggle this year. In 8 PGA Tour starts, his best finish is a T26 in the Puerto Rico Open, but he's got that win, so he's good for another 2 years, and he's in the Masters this week, so just have a hot week. Number 72 is Michael Kim. Had a really good week last week. He finished tied for second at the Valero and had a really nice season last year, at least a good kind of beginning and an end. He played really, really well. Remember in the first half of the year, he was kind of trending, climbed just inside the top 50 to get into the Masters, and he struggled a little bit in the summer, but flew over to France and won the Open de France for his first DP World Tour title. He's one of the few draw bias players on the PGA Tour. Number 71, Sami Välimäki, 27 years old, data golf ranking 121. You know what's cool, Ben?
What's cool?
Being the first person from your country to win on the PGA Tour.
Oh, definitely.
That's
and
cool.
Where's Sami Välimäki?
He's from Finland.
Yes.
He is the first player from Finland to win on the PGA Tour when he won last fall at the RSM. 4 missed cuts and no top 30s, at least heading into the Valero. So, I think he finished tied for 14th at the Valero. So a little bit of momentum going into this week.
That's a good finish.
That is a good finish. That's a good Masters. You were talking about, you love the between T4 and T20 finish.
If you're top 20 at the Masters and you didn't, or at Valero and you didn't win, maybe if you're better,
just
a little
sprinkle action. Yeah. Number 70 is Carlos Ortiz, 34 years old, data golf ranking 67. He's only played the Masters once. He missed the cut. Spending the chunk of his prime on Live Golf, but qualified for last year's U.S. Open and got a T4 to get into just his second Masters. He has 2 top 10s and 5 Live starts this year and is the lone member of Torquay GC in the field as Joaquin Niemann's game has dropped a level. I cannot
represent Torquay out there.
I can't wait for the Torquay Instagram post. I thought it was interesting. No special invitations this year.
Yeah.
In the past, we've seen 3, 4, 2 special invitations. None this year. I get a kick out of the Augusta members being in a room and just being like, nah, none of these guys
I
make
have a
the cut.
theory and why.
Yeah, why?
I think because if it was anybody but Anthony Kim, or if Anthony Kim was left out, the internet was going to riot, and they just didn't want to deal with that. We're like, you know what? Just nobody.
You might be right.
If it's not going to be AK, then we're not going to
You might be right. AK would have been the natural special invitation, and they just kind of said, we're not doing that this year.
Everyone was calling for it.
Everyone was calling for it. Number 69 is Max Grazerman. 30 years old, data golf ranking 92. Finished the year inside the top 50 to get into the field, or inside the top 30, I think. I don't know. He's in the field. He's outside the top 20, though, in both strokes gained off the tee and strokes gained approach. It doesn't matter how well you putt if they're always for par. He has 5 runner-up finishes in his career, still chasing that first victory. Number 68 is Hao Tong Li, the most handsome man in China. He is 30 years old, ranked 96th on Data Golf. I remember he played the first 2 rounds with Tiger Woods in 2019.
Love watching him play
I have
golf.
a very distinct memory of that. Back at the Masters for the first time in 7 years on the strength of a T4 finish at the Open Championship. He got his PGA Tour card through the DP World Tour last year and started well with a T8 at the Amex and a T11 at Torrey Pines, but has missed the cut in 5 of his last 6 starts. With Hao Tong Li, I'll just never forget when he just wouldn't get off the driving range in the 2020 PGA Championship. You remember this?
No.
He was leading after either the first round or the second round. He played in the morning wave, and they just every hour he's still on the range. He's still on the range.
On Saturday?
No, after his round. He just was on the range for probably 5 hours after the round. Yeah, grinder.
Hitting golf balls.
Grinder extraordinaire. Number 67, Cameron Smith. Pretty low for Cameron Smith, but his career is taking a bit of an ebb. He's 32 years old, ranked 98th. So he finished second in the fraudulent 2020 Masters. He's the only guy in history to break 70 in all 4 rounds at the Masters. But again, it was during the asterisk Masters. It shouldn't really count. But he's dipped to perhaps, this low as a professional golfer, at least at the end of last year. But he's righted the ship a little bit with top 10s at Live Adelaide and Live Singapore. But he's been terrible in the majors recently with 6 consecutive missed cuts in major championships. Remember, he was one of the 4, along with Rahm, Bryson, and Brooks, that were handed that little carrot from the PGA Tour, said if you want to come back, you can do it right away. And he was the only one who kind of pledged his future to Live Golf with his chest. He was like, I'm support Live, I love Live. Remember,
I think he's loving life. That's probably
I think
why.
he's getting, he's Australian, he loves Live Australia. There's a big Australian convention, a lot of time off. He can fish on his boat.
Fishing on the boat.
In Jacksonville.
Exactly what I was thinking.
But it was remember, Rahm was like, we'll see what happens. Bryson was like, I might just do YouTube. Smith was like, I love Live Golf. Number 66, Nicolas Echevarria. 31 years old, Data Golf ranking 81. He won his 3rd PGA Tour event. He was the beneficiary of Shane Lowry's collapse at the Cognizant Don't Say Honda Classic. He still misses his fair share of cuts. He's got 6 missed cuts in 10 starts this year. So he's got a little bit of a reputation as like a feast or famine guy.
Yeah.
He has his weeks, but then he misses a lot of cuts, and he's in the positive in just one of the key strokes gained categories. He made the cut last week in his Masters debut, but he's yet to post a top 40 finish in 7 career major starts. Number 65 is Sergio Garcia. 46 years old, Data Golf ranking 132. He seems to be shut out completely from the European Ryder Cup ecosystem. And he'll need to get on his horse if he's going to play in any non-Masters majors for the rest of his career. He won top 10 in 5 starts on Live this year, and he's missed the cut in 6 of 7 starts at Augusta since his career-defining win in 2017. So has not been able to replicate the success at Augusta National. Number 64 is Dustin Johnson. 41 years old, 156 in the Data Golf ranking. His 5-year exemption into all the other majors from winning the 2020 Masters is up. So he's currently only exempt into this one and the U.S. Open for 1 more year off of his 10-year exemption. Why are you smiling so much?
I'm just laughing at this photo, imagining nobody behind on the other side of the camera because it's 2020.
The Asterisk Masters. He maintains that he's not finished and still highly motivated, but he's currently 26th in the Live Golf standings. Remember, that's out of 60 players. And he hasn't had a major top 20 finish since 2023. Number 63, Harry Hall. He's making his debut, 28 years old, 33 in the Data Golf rankings, an Englishman. Made a sneaky run toward a potential Ryder Cup pick last summer, but you always kind of felt like it was a long shot, and it's hard to, in hindsight, take issue with anything that Luke Donald did in that lead up to Bethpage. One of the best putters on the PGA Tour. And despite being a big, tall guy, he's 6'4". He's a big dude. I
didn't realize he was that tall.
Yeah, he's just 89th in driving distance, so it doesn't hit it as far as you would expect with that body. Number 62, Tom McKibben. 23 years old, 102 in Data Golf rankings, a rising star, yeah, I'll give it to him, from Rory's neck of the woods. He earned his PGA Tour card through the DP World Tour, only to swerve and join John Rahm's Legion 13 team. He is proof that you can, in fact, play your way into the Masters on Live Golf as long as you're willing to travel. He won the Hong Kong Open on the Asian Tour to get into the field. He's currently 38th in the Live standings with 1 top 20 finish in 5 starts, so not great. Number 61, and this is going to be the last of our first section. We're going to take a break, then we're going to come back. Not like a break, like a commercial break. We're just going to do something else.
Different content.
61 is Wyndham Clark. He's 32 years old. He's 95th in the Data Golf rankings. There's not much good to report here. He had a good 3-tournament stretch in July, which is the only thing that's keeping him somewhat afloat in the world rankings. It's been very much a struggle, particularly with the short game. It feels like he's trying out new putters every single week. And he recently split from John Ellis, who was his caddy for, I think, 8 years and was on the bag when he won his U.S. Open at LACC in 2023. Another one that I maybe semi-asterisk. Okay, that's 90 through 61. We motored through those.
Yeah, hope you guys are enjoying this so far. Just want to give love to every single person.
Every single player
played their way into the Masters.
And we've got 60 more to go still. But first, it's time for the Dankings. Amazing Dankings, I think, this week.
Special week.
Special week, special Dankings. We are going to be ranking Masters traditions. Things that the Masters does every year that other golf tournaments don't do. Number 10. The reason this one's number 10 is I don't actually love it. It's not my favorite thing. All of the special words that they use, like patrons, second nine, second cut. It's like, I don't know. Calling something a fan does not cheapen the event, in my opinion.
It's a little patronizing.
It's a little patronizing. That's exactly. I mean, I saw the email today where it was like telling you how long all of it's like second cut. It's like, wait, can we say rough? Is that really gonna?
I guess we can
diminish it. But the next 9 I love. Number 9, the par 3 contest. Alan Shipnuck hates it because he's a misanthrope. I kind of like to see these guys in dad mode. I think it's, the Masters is a really intense week, and then you sort of have this break on Wednesday afternoon where you get to see these guys just be guys, and you finish your prep Wednesday noon, and you go over there. You have a really good time. It's very cute. There's always
fun.
Yeah, it's fun. Tommy Fleetwood's son. See if he can make it over the lake this year. He's been practicing really hard at home. Number 8, all the amateurs and the Crow's Nest specifically. Augusta National. Bobby Jones, amateur golf. It's part of the history. Staying one night in this room. I remember Stu Hagestad told us he stayed one night in the Crow's Nest, and he's like 6'5" and his legs were just hanging off the bed. But you got to do it. And they always, they have the Asia Pacific amateur, the Latin America amateur, the amateur champion, the U.S. amateur champion, the U.S. amateur runner-up, the U.S. mid-am champion. There's always a very strong amateur contingent at Augusta National. I think Bobby Jones smiles down on that. Maybe not so much on the former tour pros, but we don't need to talk about that anymore. Number 7, no running or laying down. If you run at Augusta, you'll be told to not run.
Laying down, I didn't realize was part of it.
Take a look this week, see if anyone's laying down.
I've gotten pretty close.
You shouldn't.
Maybe I've gotten away with it.
There's very few sporting events, especially in the United States, have been able to conjure this sense of respect for the event and for the grounds. And Augusta's done that really well. And I think, no one's running between holes. I guess a player can run if he wants to see his shot because they get different rules. But you're walking around, you're enjoying the day. It's part of being present, which is going to be one of the ones.
If you've ever been to the WM Phoenix Open, you understand why you can't run at Augusta, because it's 100 times more feverish around there. It's imagine how many people would run if you could run to Amen Corner as soon as you got
and
the
also
gate.
it's the slopes are like this. If there's any sort of mud, it'd be dangerous.
Danger,
Number 6, honorary starters, the first opening tee ceremony. Interesting, we use the one, I think that's when the Gary Player, when his son made it an advertisement, but when they're not doing that, it's a lovely way to kick off the week. I saw an idea from this guy, Bradley Hughes, a swing coach on Twitter. He said, how cool would it be for these guys to hit the driver that they won their first Masters with?
Oh yeah, definitely.
I'm in on that.
Yeah, I'm all in.
I'm in on that. Let's make that happen.
There's no kind of joy in watching Jack bunt a driver.
Yeah, he's just going to bunt one even shorter.
Yeah,
it's fine. We don't care. Number 5, no branding. So when you're at a PGA Championship at US Open, you see there's the Cisco 10 or there's the Rolex. No, not at the Masters. There's no branding on the hospitality. There's no branding, on the signage behind the tees.
Even the food has a generic name to it.
Just says Master, just says sandwich, the candy bar. It's very clean. They obviously make a ton of money from this tournament, but they do it in good ways. It's not in your face. You don't feel nickel and dimed. You don't feel like they're selling everything.
They also always stay ahead of everyone else trying to jump on their licensing and their branding and stuff, and come up with the thing that you couldn't come up with or offer the thing. There's a lot of brilliant.
Turns out when you get a lot of really, really, really smart, really, really rich people in the room, they have some good ideas and they know who to hire. Number 4, the green jacket. The green jacket. We've got it right behind here. It's an amazing, there is a Masters trophy, but people don't even really know that because the green jacket is what is so incredibly iconic.
Yeah, that's the trophy down there.
You have to leave it, you get it for 1 year to bring it wherever you want. Rory brought it to India. Rory brought it back home to Northern Ireland. Then you leave it on the grounds until you're back on the grounds. One thing I think is interesting about the green jacket is Augusta is so private about who's a member. right? There's no list. They won't tell you. Then you go on the grounds and they're wearing these bright green jackets.
Well, it's the 1 week of the year. Yeah.
It's very easy to tell who a member is.
And they promote that week. They're like, hey, if you see someone in a green jacket, they're happy to answer any
that's what it started
right?
as. That's what it started as. So it started as they wanted to create this incredible sense of hospitality. So they had their members wear green jackets so that people would know to go up and ask the people in a green jacket. Number 3, the cheap ass concessions. How good is this? It's like a couple dollars for a sandwich. It's like $1.50 for a Coca-Cola. Like I said, we know they're making a lot of money, but they do it in classy ways. You can get a whole meal for under $10. You can, beers were like $3 or something. It's charge me at the upfront. You know what I mean? It's kind of like with airlines. Like, if you have to charge me another $50 and I don't have to pay for a bag, I'm willing, charge it up front. I don't want to be nickel and dimed the whole time.
This is a rare thing that is beat to death. Everybody talks about it every year, but it actually gets more important and better every year because everything gets more expensive. This stays exactly the same.
The PGA Championship was like $750 for everything, or not the Ryder Cup.
Any sporting event, you're paying $30 for a tall boy.
And inflation just keeps going up and up and up, and they just keep staying the same.
I'm still paying $1.50 for my Powerade.
That's right. Number 2. No cell phones. No cell phones. Now, personally, this makes it hard for us to cover the tournament in the ways that we like to do it, but you'll never see people more present than they are at the Masters. And you don't see in the pictures, you don't see every single person holding up their phone, trying to get the video that's going to be put online everywhere by professional cameramen. It brings you into the moment. It makes the day feel extremely special. It's a phenomenal tradition. And I got a little bit of a PSA. I wish they enforced the Apple. I wish there were no Apple Watches either. I'm starting to see a lot of Apple Watches.
I think you're going to see a lot of Ray-Ban and
Meta glasses. As we start to get into this world of more wearable technology, I think we should just say no wearable technology as opposed to just no cell phones.
Sure.
Because you can say, I need to get in touch with someone. Well, that was the rule 10 years ago when they had no cell phones, and people figured it out and they were fine. So
it's also very convenient to check your phone. Like, they have a nice system there for you. Like, everybody's nice about making sure you're taken care of.
Yeah.
It's easy
No
to just
wearable
do it.
technologies, though. I'd like to expand it. I don't want to see Apple Watches.
No Apple Watches.
The number 1 Masters tradition for me, Champions Dinner. The most coveted invitation in all of golf. We get the pictures every year. I just can't even imagine what it feels like to come back into that room with everyone who's a legend of the game. And being a Masters champion is for life. That's one of the things that they say, because every single year, no matter if you're not playing in the tournament, you're always welcome at the Champions Dinner. We've seen some other tournaments try to replicate this. It doesn't quite work. This is the one. The Champions Dinner, we get the menu release. The host gets to choose the menu. Just an incredible tradition at a place that's full of them. So, yeah.
Even if your menu sucks, like Bubba Watson.
It was like grilled chicken and mac and cheese.
It was like a kid's meal.
Incredible.
But it's still going to be a great time. It's the conversation you wish you could be a part of.
100%.
Even if you're eating grilled chicken.
Oh, to be a fly on the wall in that room. Masters Week, it's very exciting. And Amazon Prime, they'd like to welcome you to Augusta National a little earlier in the day than usual.
Thanks, Prime.
The Masters now begins on Prime with 2 additional hours of coverage starting at 1 p.m. Eastern, Thursday, April 9th and Friday, April 10th. If you're not a Prime member, that's crazy. Sign up for your free 30-day trial today. Restrictions apply. See Amazon.com/Amazon Prime for details. Amazon.com/Amazon Prime for details. More Masters coverage is a good thing. More Masters coverage is a great thing. And I'm excited to see what Amazon does with it. They're innovative.
Yeah, a new broadcast and maybe new features.
I feel like there's going to be some new features. All right, I'm going to take a sip of this tea because we're about to hop into our Masters rankings.
Okay, this is the middle, the great middle.
The great middle. That's exactly right. Number 60 is Kurt Kitayama, 33 years old, ranked 40th in data golf. So they like him more than I do this week. His best finish in the Masters is a tie for 35th in 2024. Missed the Masters last year, but he's back after winning the 3M Open in the summer. He finished tied for 2nd in the Genesis Invitational, which got him huge FedEx Cup points and a massive payday. He's also got one of the best nicknames on tour, Quadzilla. Number 59 is Matt McCarty. He's 28 years old, 70th in data golf ranking. Played well last year, tied for 14th. He squeaked into the field by being in the top 50 in the world, and it must have been a nervous wait because he missed the cut at the Players in the Valspar in his last chances to sort of cement his spot, but he's in. Like I said, showed really nicely last year, tied for 14th, but then missed the cut in the final 3 majors of the year. A T2 at the Amex is by far his best finish of the season, but comparing the Amex to Augusta National is like comparing a dog to a rat. I don't know. That was the first thing that popped in my mind.
Yeah, that's fair.
It's just they're just not the same thing. Yeah,
It works.
Thank you. Number 58 is Nick Taylor, 37 years old, 43rd in the Data Golf rankings. He made the cut in 2 of 4 majors last year. You might be thinking, why are you telling me this? Because that's big progress. Because he had missed the cut in 9 straight majors before that. Wow. Yeah, and he's one of the few players who seems to play his best when he gets a sniff of the trophy. He's won 5 times on the PGA Tour, but he's never been anywhere close to contention in a major championship. Number 57. John Kiefer. I guess we're going with John this week.
This week it's John.
He's Johnny Kiefer on the PGA Tour, but he must have replied or RSVP'd to the Masters invitation with John, because we're going with John
Bend
Kiefer.
that brim, young man.
That's right. Player of the Year on the Korn Ferry Tour last year, and crept inside the top 50 in the world rankings with a well-timed tied for 7th at the RSM. It's been a bit of a learning curve this year on the PGA Tour, but he's coming off a T3 in Houston. I think he missed the cut in Valero, but a T3 in Houston, by far his best finish, so that should settle the nerves a little bit. We need a week like that out of Neil Shipley. Yeah. Number 56 is Casey Jarvis, just 22 years old, South African. He's 62nd in the Data Golf rankings. Destined for the PGA Tour after an incredible stretch on his home continent to start the year. He won the Magical Kenya Open. He won the Investec South Africa Open Championship and tied for 2nd at the Joburg Open. Kept it going at the Hero Indian Open with a tied for 13th. He's an exciting young prospect. I think he's not eligible for the President's Cup because he's not a PGA Tour member. They should look into changing that rule.
Yeah.
They should look into changing that rule.
That'd be interesting.
The internationals need all the help that they can get.
Sure.
But yeah, excited to watch Casey. I mean, he's been incredible on the DP World Tour this year, and he's almost certainly like locked up to finish, in the top 10 that aren't already exempt and get his PGA Tour card. Number 55 is Max Homa, 35 years old, Data Golf ranking 109. He keeps working really, really hard, but it feels like the wheels are spinning in place. He simply hasn't been the same caliber of player since the latter half of 2024, and even tied for 3rd in 2024 in the Masters.
Once, yeah.
When he switched coaches and then club manufacturers after reaching the top 10 in the world, he's back with Mark Blackburn now. His only top 10 finishes in his last 25 starts came at the Bank of Utah Championship in the fall and the John Deere Classic, one of the weaker fields. Missed the cut last week. He's in the field by way of his tied for 12th at Augusta last year. So clearly feels comfortable around the place. Tied for 3rd in 2024, tied for 12th last year, but keep waiting for that turnaround.
I feel like he's somebody that maybe got hurt a little bit by the influx of young talent that hit the tour right after he was peaking and then started to struggle. Because
maybe
I think he was playing against a different field.
I think it was more just everything changed,
Boy,
it's just hard for me to wrap my head around everything changing.
That point in time, you can look at it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hard to argue.
Number 54, our guy Rasmus Niergaard Peterson, Arsenal fan, which is gross, but he's 26 years old. He's 107th in the Data Golf rankings. Oklahoma State grad from Denmark. There's a lot of Scandinavians in the field this week, which I love. He won the Australian Open at Royal Melbourne with a sick up and down on the 72nd hole to get into the field, playing his rookie season on the PGA Tour, and he's yet to finish better than a tie for 40th, so he's got to get going. Tied for 12th at Oakmont last year, so there is some major success on the pedigree. Number 53 is big, less big now, Aldrich Potgieter. 21 years, still just 21 years old.
I know.
He's ranked 210th in the Data Golf rankings. They don't like him because they do a lot of week-to-week consistency, and he's not crazy consistent on a week-to-week basis. He's lost significant weight, but he's lost no distance, and he leads the PGA Tour in ball speed, just a shade under 189 miles an hour. And wow. I suspect as we get into the summer months and it gets hotter, that's going to creep up above 190, which would be a new record. He fares well on courses where there's room to miss. Yes, he's one of the longest players, but he's also one of the more crooked players, and the short game needs work. He's still a work in progress. He's 21 years old.
Not a place to work on your short game.
Not a place to work on your short game. And not a place to not be super dot. It's not a great course fit for him. Number 52, Keegan Bradley. 39 years old, number 45 in the Data Golf rankings. It hasn't been a good season. There's no sugarcoating that. He has been honest, saying that, the Bethpage heartbreak still looms large in his life, and he won't forget it the rest of his career. He's got just 5 top 10 finishes. This surprised me. 5 top 10 finishes in 49 career major starts, and all 5 have come in either PGA Championships or U.S. Open. So no top 10s in his career in the Open or the Masters.
Not a Masters
His
guy.
best Masters finish is a tie for 22nd.
Wow.
Surprising, isn't it?
That is surprising.
Yeah.
You think you were top 10 once.
One time, you'd think, just have a good week, but it hasn't happened. What do you think about the whole post-Bethpage swoon that he's had?
I think he's proving that he meant everything he said about how much the Ryder Cup meant to him.
Yeah, it was not for the cameras.
It's still there.
It's still there. Number 51 is Aaron Rai. He's 31 years old, number 75 in the data golf rankings. So he went back to the DP World Tour at the end of last year for the fall season, finished tied for third at Wentworth. Then he won the Abu Dhabi HSBC Championship to get high enough in the world rankings to get in the field. He's been a consistent performer in his career on the PGA Tour, but he's struggling a bit. He's outside the top 100 in FedEx Cup points and still searching for his first top 20 finish of the year. Number 50, Ryan Fox. 39 years old, 66 in the data golf rankings. He's a rugby lad.
Yeah.
His dad, very famous player for the All Blacks.
Yeah.
Grant Fox. He came to golf late in his career. Like, I think he started playing when he was 18 or 19, just started playing, and didn't get to the PGA Tour until he was deep into his 30s. He won twice last year, let's remember, including an epic playoff win over Sam Burns in Canada. That was the best year of his professional career. He had to withdraw from the Players' Championship with kidney stones.
Oh, yeah.
Which is hard to even read. Have you ever?
No.
Me either.
Touch wood.
Me neither.
Brown.
Touch wood. Made the cut in both his Masters starts. He's got plenty of firepower. His swing is homemade as hell. You should watch it. He's like, gets this crazy position, but hasn't posted a major top 10 in 25 tries. It's amazing how many of these players like have just had no success in majors so far. Like none.
That's why they call them the majors.
That's why they call them the majors. They're not. It's not a run-of-the-mill PGA Tour setup, as the guys like to say. Number 49 is Andrew Novak. He's 30 years old. He's 118th in the data golf rankings. Broke out last year. It was kind of him and Ben Griffin. Ben kind of kept going. Novak plateaued a little bit. He got all the way to the Tour Championship. So he's into all the majors this year. This is his first Masters. It's a fun underdog story. You don't find many tour pros who played at Wofford College. And he might know the most about American football of any player on tour. One top 10 on the year. And again, no major success to speak of yet.
I can guarantee he's going to have the best week of his life.
Yeah.
Maybe on the scorecard, but
just in life.
First Masters, man.
Yeah, first Masters. Another guy who's playing in his first Masters, Ryan Gerard. Oh, wow. So he's 26. He's 28th in the data golf rankings. Now, how's this for dedication, Ben? He entered the Afra-Asia, and that's not me stumbling. It's A-F-R-A...
Aphasia.
There, fuck. It is me stumbling.
No, I know. When I was
when I say
reading that, I know it's A-F-R-Asia.
Asia.
Yeah, Aphasia.
He won the Aphasia Bank Mauritius Open in December because it was his last. Entered the Aphasia Bank Mauritius Open in December because it was his last chance to move inside the top 50 of the world rankings by the end of the year and earn a Masters invite. He lost in a playoff that moved him from 57th to 46th, and that did the trick.
Nice.
But the funny part, it wouldn't have mattered because he started the year with runner-ups at Sony and the American Express, so he's way inside the top 50 now. He's cooled off a bit since then with some missed cuts in 2 of his last 3 events. Has made 9 starts already this year. It's nice to be young. Play all the time. Number 47 is a major champion, Brian Harman. He's 39 years old. He's 94th in the data golf rankings. He's slipping down the world rankings a bit with no top 10 finishes yet in 7 starts this year. Forever a major winner after that dominant performance a few years ago. And he has 3 top 10 finishes in his last 4 Open Championships, so Open Champion specialist. He's a mutter. When the going gets tough, he makes tons of pars and hangs around. But this feels like a lot of golf course for him. You know?
Also, the weather's looking great this week.
Yeah, and he missed the cut 3 straight times at the Masters before a tied for 36th last year. Christopher Wrightan, he had a good week at Valero. I saw him on the leaderboard. 28 years old, 101st in the data golf ranking. You want to learn something new, Ben?
Yeah.
He won this isn't new, maybe you knew this. He won the Big Money Nedbank Golf Challenge in December, but he's struggling on the PGA Tour, at least until last week. Good finish. He's part of the growing contingent of Scandinavian golfers on the world stage. I wanted to kind of drag it out a little bit. This is where I'm going to teach you something. Wikipedia tells me he is a grandson of Odd Wrightan, who formed the Wrightan conglomerate. Great word. You want to be involved with something? It's a conglomerate.
Conglomerate of what?
I don't know. Conglomerates do everything. No. That's the whole point.
I thought you were going to say it was like a famous Viking or something like that.
A grandson of Odd Wrightan, who formed the Wrightan conglomerate and became one of Norway's wealthiest businessmen.
Okay.
Every day is a school day.
Go off, trust fund.
We're staying in Scandinavia. He's from Norway, by the way. I didn't say that. He's from Norway. We're staying in Scandinavia with number 45, Rasmus Højgaard. He's 25 years old. I feel like these Højgaards have been around for so long. At 25, he's 51st in the data golf ranking. It was he who took his brother's spot on the latest Ryder Cup team, but it's his brother who's having the better year so far. They aren't just identical. They have very similar statistical profiles. Like they have matching ball speeds within like 2.2 of each other, which is hilarious. He's made the cut in 6 straight majors, but still looking for his first like proper breakthrough performance in one. Number 44 is Sam Stevens. He's 29, 46th in the amateur rankings, or in the data golf rankings. Oklahoma State alum. He was on that team with Matt Wolff and Victor Hovland that won the 2018 NCAA championship. He got in via his world ranking, which has steadily ascended, and he's another guy who plays just a ton of golf, plays basically every single week.
Good man.
Number 43, Daniel Berger. I had an interesting back and forth with Daniel Berger last week.
Last week?
Yeah, I texted him and I said, hey, can you come on the show to preview the Masters? And he said, I'm playing Augusta right now.
Actively, you were like,
Yeah.
pull your phone away, dude.
Well, I think he was probably like, not there yet or something. I don't want
He
to.
gets one of those
I don't want to
stickers.
like dox him. You know what I mean? But no, I think they have their phones out there, don't
They're
they?
allowed, yeah.
Yeah, they're allowed. He's 32 years old, 52nd in the Data Golf rankings. He's had injuries that have really derailed his career. He's just 32, but I feel like he's had an injury-plagued career. He played his way onto the President's Cup team in 2017 and the Ryder Cup in 2021 before a lumbar disc bulge kept him out for 19 months. Then it was a broken ring finger in August of 2025 that ended his season at the BMW Championship and kept him out for the entire fall. He's now back to full strength, and he found form in his home state of Florida. He's born in Plantation, Florida. He went to Florida State, lives in Jupiter. Lost in a playoff to Akshay at Bay Hill before a so-so Players Championship. His best Masters finish came in his first try before all of those injuries. It was a tie for 10th, and his best in 5 starts since is a tied for 21st last year. Number 42, Sam Burns. Haven't heard much from Sam Burns this year. He's 29, still ranked 20th in Data Golf. He's been pretty quiet. 1 top 10 finish in 7 starts so far this year. Played nicely throughout the summer to get that pick from Keegan Bradley. And in that summer was included a soaked quest for the U.S. Open when he got, his ball was like in a puddle. Oh, yeah. He ended up finishing tied for 7th. 2 top 10s in 22 career majors is a less than great output for someone of his pedigree. Mm-hmm. And the Masters has been his worst of the 4 with 2 whatever finishes and 2 missed cuts in 4 tries.
For a good putter, that surprises me.
Yeah. Number 41, Ben Griffin. 29 years old, 29th in the Data Golf rankings. Love when those two things match up. He's a rookie in the Masters. Might be fair to start calling this a bit of a sophomore slump. He wasn't a rookie last year, but it was the season that he broke out and became a Ryder Cup level player, similar to JJ Spaun, with a barrage of top 20 finishes and a couple wins in there. 3 wins actually on the year. It's regressed in 2026 with 3 consecutive missed cuts through the Florida swing at the Arnold Palmer, the Players, and Valspar. There's still obviously plenty of time to turn the season around. And maybe, a drive up Magnolia Lane.
Is he the best debutant in the field?
Got her up.
Got her up.
We'll get there. He admitted to me, though, when I interviewed him at Pebble Beach, that his expectations for himself have changed. Same as JJ Spaun. He's like, a T14 finish doesn't quite accomplish what it used to, and that can be a tough burden to carry.
He can do it.
He can do it.
He's got that personality.
He's got a really big game. I feel like his game kind of plays well for majors. I wouldn't be super surprised to see a resurgent week from him this week. Number 40 is Maverick McNeely. He is 30 years old. He's 21st in the Data Golf rankings. He had a half chance to make the Ryder Cup team last year, but only to get on his horse to get in the President's Cup mix. He's got 6 finishes between 10th and 32nd in his 7 starts this year. So it's consistent golf. But another guy, 12 starts in majors and 0 top 20 finishes. Kind of amazing.
Yeah.
Number 39, Alex Noren. I got a kick out of this yesterday. While JJ Spaun was hitting balls, getting ready for the playoff, it was Alex Noren in the background, just doing that fucking... You didn't see it?
No.
I don't think he was doing like this. I'm sure he was doing it, but he wasn't.
He was grinding?
He was grinding. He is an ultimate grinder. Since Podrick Harrington has left, I would say, and he's older, I would say that Alex Noren is the number 1 range grinder. Like when I walk on ranges, the guy who I'm most likely to see is Alex Noren. 43 years old, still doing it at 43.
Big dude.
Imagine what those hands look like, the calluses. He's 23rd in the Data Golf rankings. A fascinating career. He's got 12 wins on the DP World Tour, but none on the PGA Tour, and he might be the most accomplished current player without a victory. He won 2 tournaments on English soil last summer at the Betfred British Masters and the DP World Tour's flagship event at Wentworth. And there was some talk at that point that he was an assistant captain. There was some talk that he might even be better informed than some of the players on his team. But again, hard to argue with anything that Luke Donald did last year. It's hard to believe he's only played 4 Masters, and it's harder to believe he's missed the cut in 3.
That is hard to believe.
He's hard to pin down, that guy.
Because he's like considered maybe the best player without a
PGA Tour
win. Tour win.
Yeah. Number 38, Patrick Cantlay, another guy who I feel like is just snoozing his way through 2026.
Oh, man.
He's 34 years old, 18th in Data Golf rankings. I should say these Data Golf rankings were before Valero, but not much change. A T7 at the Valspar was his first top 10 of the year, and zooming out, he's just been really quiet. He missed the cut in 3 of the 4 majors last year, and the one time he did make it, he finished tied for 36th at the Masters. He's a player with deep respect from his peers, mainly because of how consistent he's been throughout the past half decade, but the game's not nearly as good as it has been in years past. Maybe he comes from nowhere, but I'm not seeing it.
He could.
Yeah.
I mean, he's capable.
He's a pedigree player, but he's not having a good season. Number 37 is Marco Penge, 27 years old, 85th in the data golf rankings. So he was the best player, not named Rory McIlroy, on the DP World Tour last year, and there was buzz around him heading into his debut season on the PGA Tour. Then he hit a road bump. The reason there was buzz, he's got this incredible, powerful swing.
Long hitter, right?
Beautiful swing. Then he came moving to America, which is an underrated step for these guys to have to take. They leave home. And a nasty sickness right before the start of the season, which delayed his start. And a newborn child. His newborn child spent weeks in the NICU. So it's out now, so we're very happy about that. He missed 4 of 7 cuts. Or missed 4 of 8 cuts this year, but he's in a decent spot on the FedEx thanks to a T16 at Riviera. He actually held the 36-hole lead. He finished tied for 4th at the Valspar, and I think he finished in the top 20 last week at Valero also.
I was just going to say, he's probably a guy you're going to see on the leaderboard early. Like
that's
Marco Penge, you see him like on Thursday and Friday on the first page.
8, yeah. I don't hate that shout. Number 36 is Gary Woodland. He's 41 years old. His data golf ranking is 71st. Heartwarming victory. It doesn't even feel fair to call it heartwarming. I need an adjective stronger than heartwarming. Life affirming.
Yeah. Life affirming. Right?
Victory at Valero. It was a proper palate cleanser after the previous news cycle in golf. He's everything right with the game. So just a lovely guy. I can say that from personal experience. Started feeling not himself a little while ago. He was fearful. He was anxious, and he knew that wasn't him. They wound up discovering a growth on his brain that required surgery. Next came recovery, which is hardly ever straightforward when it comes to brains. And he shared his ongoing battle with post-traumatic stress disorder with Live From the week of the Players. 2 weeks later, he was back in the winner's circle after a dominant week in Houston, and he let those emotions pour out of him. He's a proper bomber, like hits it absolutely miles. And Houston was a good course for him because you got to hit it absolutely miles. But he's had very limited success at Augusta, which demands precision as
Another
well.
guy that's going to have a great week, regardless of finish.
He's going to be so happy to be back there. Are you kidding me? Number 35 is Corey Connors. He is 34 years old. His data golf ranking is 39. Sneaky Augusta specialist, this guy.
Oh, yeah.
He has top 10s in 4 of the last 5. The reason he's 35th.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Like, don't sleep on that.
Yeah,
don't bet on him, as we usually say.
Yeah, I mean, the reason I have him low is because I don't think he's going to win the tournament. But if this was like how I think the leaderboard's going to shake out, he'd be much higher.
Oh, yeah.
Top 10s in 4 of the last 5. And played in the final group on Saturday last year with Rory McIlroy. That said, he's not won a tournament other than the Valero Texas Open in his career. And he seems a perennial top 10 guy, but very rarely makes a charge for the title. And the stats this year tell the same damn story. 16th in strokes gained approach, 138th in strokes gained putting. If that guy could figure out, maybe he's got to try a broomstick. Like we got to keep cycling.
He's so close.
If he could just figure out his putting.
He's so close specifically to winning the Masters.
Yeah,
like he's number one.
He's hits draws like he's like you said, top 10 4 of the last 5.
4 out of 5.
Time.
Impressive.
Number 34 is Harris English. We're gonna have Harris English on the show on Wednesday, giving us his guide to Augusta. He's 36 years old, 27th in the data golf ranking. He's a Georgia boy through and through. He said he gets a little bit extra nervous this week because he feels like when he takes that walk from the putting green to the first tee, he knows like 87% of the people who are standing there. Played his way onto the Ryder Cup team with 2 runner-up finishes in majors last year. 2 runner-ups at the PGA Championship and the Open. Also included in an excellent 2025 season. He got that win early in the year, a tie for 12th at the Masters, his best finish at Augusta National. He enters in solid, if unspectacular form. I kid you not, he's got 7 finishes between T21 and T28 in 8 starts. He's played 8 tournaments, and 7 times he's finished between tie for 21st and tie for 28th. I asked him, how do you feel about that? He goes, good. He goes, I'm right there.
He can estimate his paycheck on a week-to-week basis.
He's a good bet to make the cut, but the man who wins the Masters typically has a few like blue chip finishes in the lead up. Yeah. So, number 33 is Sungjae Im, 28 years old. 114th in the data golf rankings. That's mostly because he missed all of the West Coast swing. There's Willie in the background.
Yeah.
He missed all the West Coast swing with a wrist injury, which was a new hurdle for a guy who plays as much golf as anyone. He started his 2026 at Bay Hill in the Players, which is a hard 2-step to start with. He missed the cut in both, but he bounced back, took the 54-hole lead at the Valspar Championship, but put forth a feeble effort on Sunday for a T4. You like that word, feeble?
Feeble effort.
It's a bit of a pattern with him. He doesn't win very often. He has a very, very good history at the Masters, though, with 4 finishes of T16 or better in 6 career starts, including a tie for second in that fraudulent 2020 Masters and a tied for 5th last year.
He plays well at this course.
He plays his best on firm and fast courses. He's a high spin player. If it gets wet and kind of cold, not as good for Sungjae. When it's bouncy, when it's firm, think Memorial, think Augusta National, Sungjae likes his chances. Number 32 is Colin Morikawa. 29 years old, 13th in the data golf ranking. The reason he's this low is because of the injury, because he has a good history at Augusta. Underrated.
Oh, yeah.
3 top 10s and 5 top 20s in his 6 starts. But we got big injury concerns here. You know, golf is a cruel game. He was back. He got his first win in 2+ years at Pebble, and he followed it up with a T7 at Riviera and a 5th at Bay Hill, only to injure his back on the second hole of the day at the Players' Championship on Thursday on a practice swing. He tried to return for the Valero Texas Open, but wound up withdrawing on Tuesday of tournament week. So hopefully he can play.
Yeah, what do we think of this back? Is he just like,
back
I'm not going to miss the Masters?
I think if there was any concern, he said I'd go into the Masters cold rather than playing Valero, but backs are nasty. I mean, we saw that with Will Zalatoris. Like, he just can't, he was talking about his injury and the ankle injury that he had to withdraw. You think, oh, that's not related to his back. Yeah, it was. It's the nerve that goes down his leg. Like, back injuries are just fucking nasty.
If you think you had 2 rounds in you, but definitely not 4, would you still play?
The Masters?
Yeah.
Yeah, because then you're going to make the cut. You're going to be like, I'm fucking playing.
The adrenaline fixes the back on Saturday.
I think he's going to play. Number 31, Sepp Straka missed the cut last week at Valero. That's kind of the dark side of playing the week before, right? You play the week before, you finish T6, you're like, hell fucking yeah, we're going to the Masters. You play the week before and you miss the cut, you're like, well,
yeah, there's a window
this is
that
awkward.
Ego damages.
It reminds me of, we went to Vegas one time, and we had a buddy who was involved in, we're not really sure what, but he always had way more cash than everybody else. So on the plane over, we're like, dude, you're putting $1,000 on red as soon as we get there. $1,000 on red as soon as we get there. And we're hyping him up. We're drinking $1,000 on red, $1,000 on red. It's just black. It's just dead silent. It's like, we didn't plan for that.
And he never recovered.
And we didn't plan for that. You know, it's like, that's what playing the Masters is like. You know, you go to the right. If you miss the cut, you're like, well, shit.
Yeah, you need these 2 weeks to go like this if you're one of these guys. You can't just.
All right, another break. Another break in the action. Because we're going to bring on somebody who knows much more about predicting golf tournaments than I do. It is Rick Gehman. There he is, Rick. How we feeling, baby? It's major season. It's Augusta time.
Yeah, I mean, obviously I feel great. You know, it's hard to feel anything but amazing the week of the Masters. I think from my perspective, we've had a pretty good pulse on things, right? Yeah. We got the Cam Young winner. Robert McIntyre was there the whole time. So from like a feel perspective, I'm also feeling pretty good about this. So yeah, this is going to be fun.
You got the finger in the pulse, right?
That's right.
I'm going to give you the stage. Run us through your picks. We got a lot.
Yeah, we got a lot. So let's get to it. I've got a couple of winners. I've got a couple of finishing positions. Then, of course, because there's a ton of different props and things, we're going to go down that stretch here. So interrupt me if you want to talk about anybody in particular. But here we go. 2 winners out of the gate. Ludwig Åberg is number 1. He is very likely to be one of the most popular bets this week. He's probably going to be very popular in one and done scenarios, and I completely get it. 3 straight top 5 finishes. I worry a little bit about the way that he has finished some of these events, but I don't worry too much. Guys, he has had a historically great start at the Masters. His first 2 starts, he's gained over 23 strokes to the field. It's 15th in Masters history over your first 2 starts. 15th doesn't sound great, but there's over 1,400 players that have played the Masters before, so we are definitely on the high end of things.
And also with Ludwig, I think people forget he sneaky had a chance to win last year. It was like chaotic. Rory was making doubles, Justin Rose was surging, and I think he was on 16. I think he made a 7 on 18, which made him put him way down the board. But he had a chance last year.
Yeah, actually, that was the only time I've ever seen anybody run at Augusta National last year, is on 18 when Ludwig hit one over the concession stand left. The 2, they wear the jumpsuits. They're not they're like 4 caddies out there. Yeah. They are sprinting around. Has anybody seen that ball? Have we seen that ball? And it was pretty chaotic. But yeah, Ludwig's been great at the Masters.
Next,
Cam Young.
You love this guy. You're going back to the well.
It's hard not to love him, Dan. We talk about this a lot. The draw fixed him. And now he's going to go to a place where that right to left shot is very valuable. He's got more touch than all the other bombers. He hits it. I mean, just if I could overlay his skills on any golf course, Augusta National would be a pretty darn good golf course for him. So yeah, we're going right back to the well here because there's a lot of question marks at the top of this board, right? Scotty Scheffler and Rory McIlroy and how are the live guys going to translate? And Colin's been injured. There's just a lot more question marks. Cam Young feels like one of the best players in the world right now.
All right, next.
Finishing positions. We'll start with the top 5. This is Matt Fitzpatrick. Speaking of,
I'm big on Matt this week.
Yeah, speaking of well-rounded players with a lot of paths to the top of the board, a guy who has been phenomenal from tee to green, a guy that's been in contention a lot recently, getting that, that experience. He's got plenty of experience around Augusta National. I mean, I think he's got a chance to win this golf tournament. I just think that to stick him there in the top 5 felt a little bit better for me, but would not be at all surprised to see him contend for a green jacket this week.
Next one.
Patrick Reed is next.
Fuck yeah.
I am
hell yeah.
Incredibly high on Patrick Reed. So here's the stat for Patrick Reed. He has the 4th most strokes gained at the Masters since 2019. Wow, that sounds great, doesn't it? Well, that does not even include his win in 2018.
Yeah.
So he is the 4th best player at the Masters
without the win
since his win.
Yeah.
It's nuts. He has solved this place. He's playing the best golf of his career right now, or at least the start of this year has been nothing short of fantastic. He's won twice internationally. So top 10 for Patrick Reed. I want him in scenarios where, like, I'm not going to bet him to make the cut. I'm not going to bet him to finish inside top 30. Like, I want upside out of Patrick Reed. So top 10 is where I settled on.
That fires me up. Next.
Ryan Fox for a top 20.
Okay. Post kidney stones.
The only bad result that he has had this year is immediately following the kidney stone procedure, which, as a man, as a human, if you miss the cut at in your first start days after your kidney stone,
pass.
I'm okay.
Pass
with
is
that,
tough word.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll let passing was tough for him, but we will let that go. Great skill set. This is a really good spot for him.
And I love his golf swing. Let's go to the next one.
Yeah, Michael Kim to make the cut here. You mentioned it earlier. Primarily the right to left tee shot being more valuable here on a handful of holes than others. When he plays well, he plays really well. He's only played here a couple times. I've obviously had that doldrums where he was kind of at the bottom of the game for a while. I think he only has 2 Masters starts, but this is the best he's been playing. So it's minus 154. You're gonna have to lay a little bit of juice, but let's get him to the weekend and we'll cash this one.
I don't see how any of these are missing so far. What's the next one?
We're just running a perfect board right now.
Seriously.
Well, we can't have 2 winners, but other than that, it's going to be perfect.
That's true. Top debutante. This one was difficult. I went with Marco Pench.
Okay. Bomber.
If you want to, the odds were just too long here. He's nearly 9-1. If you wanted to go with Goddard, if you wanted to go with Bridgman, I'm not going to beat you up over that. But Marco Pench is a global elite driver of the golf ball. He did it all last year. He's doing it now, and we're starting to see him put the rest of it together. He's gained strokes putting in 2 of his last 5. He's gained strokes on approach in 3 of his last 5. Those are things he did not do for his first 5 or 6 starts. He played well for the first 2 rounds at Riviera. Like, plenty of upside here. I think he's, beat a handful of these debutantes. 9-1's a pretty good number.
Yeah, and I think with Marco Pench, I think you're right. Like, I think all this stuff that plagued him in the early parts of the season, which was moving to America, him being sick, his kid having issues right away, like, that's all seems to be settled, and it's the Masters. Like, he's going to be so incredibly locked in, and it's his first Masters, so I like that pick.
He changed equipment. He went to PXG at the beginning. It was just like everything that you could have possibly done to throw your game off, he did January 1st. Top live player. This is the chalk one here. I think Jon Rahm might win this golf tournament. So I've got him as top live player. It's plus 144. I also think Bryson has a pretty good chance, but Jon Rahm is the best player at the Masters in the last 10 years, just on a strokes gained perspective. Ever since he had that first couple of major championship starts after he went to live, he's kind of shaken off that stuff, and he's been great ever since. So Rahm is the chalky live option here, and I've clicked it at plus 140.
Look, we're not just chasing plus 4,000s. Like, we have discipline. We have Rick Gehman on our.
We're building a portfolio.
We're trying to win money. Like, come on, we got 2 left.
We put these in a spreadsheet. I share them with Andy. I've got to record all of this stuff. I got to build a board here. You know what I mean?
The best availability is accountability.
That's right. Nationality of winner.
Oh,
this is fun because normally you have markets that are like top European, and then you pick the guy who's going to be the top player in that group. This is what is the nationality of the winner. So we're going with a UK or Irish winner at plus 370.
So you get Fitz, you get Rose, you get Lowry, you get McIlroy, Fleetwood. Yep.
And then a variety of others that, hey, if somebody snaps off and wins this thing. But right, those are kind of the
McIntyre. Yes.
Robert McIntyre. Yes. Robert McIntyre. Yes. So you are getting a pretty stout group of players, a handful that are on the top of the betting board. kind of with a bunch of different skill sets. So this gives you kind of a fun way to track a lot of guys at nearly 4-1.
I love that one. All right, take us home. Last one.
All right, last one's a prop. Will the winner be a first-time major winner? And we are going yes.
Yeah, I mean,
so
the two guys that you gave us are not major winners yet, so I'd hope so.
Correct. So we've got some correlation to other picks that we've made, and we also have like a little bit of a hedge, right? If Scotty Scheffler just runs off and wins this thing, or if anybody else just runs off and wins this thing. So 47 of the last 50 seasons, we've had someone become a first-time major winner. Doesn't always happen at the Masters, but it happens a lot. We're on a stretch right now of 11 straight years where at some point in this major championship season, there has been a first-time major winner. So again, start going through those names. Ludwig Oberg, Cameron Young, Tommy Fleetwood, guys that are very much some of the favorites to win this are looking for the first. So I thought this was a cool way to kind of put a bow on the card there for plus money.
I love it. They can't all hit they can't mathematically, but I still feel like they're gonna.
I think, and if I were a betting man, I'd run that lyric. I you know that meme where you sit up in the gaming chair?
Yeah.
It happens like this pick came in. I was like, let's go, because everyone was like,
yeah.
That thing.
Talk UK really or Ireland. You got to do a little like geopolitical analysis in your head. If the Scotland is part of the UK,
I know, because I was like, wait, Wales, Scotland, and then I had to double check.
Yep.
Before the show, I double checked to make sure that Rory was included in the Ireland market.
That's UK. Northern Ireland is UK.
Right, so you get that too, right? So it's like I was like, oh man, I got to double check and make sure I got all the right guys here.
You got them all. All right, good stuff, man. Awesome as always.
All right, guys.
See you down there,
Take
Rick.
care. See you soon.
All right, we're going to talk about a lot of those guys that he just mentioned because we're moving into the meat of this. Oh no, sorry, before that. We got a dog of the week.
Oh, we got something important. Yeah.
Our dog of the week, this one's close to home, our editor, Ryan Armstrong. Ryan has been absolutely crushing it for us since he joined the team this year. And editing is a tough job. It's a really tough job. It can be thankless at times. You know, your name's not on the video. It's a behind the scenes job that these guys work their ass off to make this show great. And one of the things I'm so proud of on this show is our presentation, our clips, how polished everything is, all the different elements that we bring in with videos and pictures, and all of that stuff is possible from the team that's behind that door right there. And then Ryan Armstrong helping us from afar, and he does everything with a smile on his face, never any sort of attitude, has care for the craft, wants to get it right. And he's just been a huge addition to the Dan on Golf team. So shout out to Ryan Armstrong. Clap it up, everybody. Good stuff.
The golf tournament doesn't end until late on the East Coast on Sunday, and we do this show Monday morning in LA.
I do the fun stuff, right? I get to go on the camera and talk to the guys and these guys make the actual content, Ryan and Alex. So it's so vitally important what they do. And Ryan, I hope you have a smile on your face right now. All right, let's hop back in. We got our top 30 that we're going to go through. Okay,
these are the big ones.
These are the big ones. Number 30 is Justin Thomas, 32 years old, 37th in the Data Golf rankings. He's part of a concerning number of not old players who have missed time with back injuries. He missed, like Sungjae, the entirety of the West Coast swing, then debuted at Bay Hill. Pretty eye-opening fashion. He shot 14 over par for 2 rounds, so that's not great. But then he showed very nicely at the Players' Championship. And this tournament, though, has given him troubles. He has a 4th place finish, but that was in the fraudulent 2020 TPC Augusta year. His best finish in non-COVID years is an 8th. And his last 3 tries, he's gone tie for 36, miscut. So kind of odd. You think of him as a great iron player, great approach player. He's got 2 major championships. The Masters has had his number a little bit.
Graduate of the Ball Strikers Academy for sure.
You want to make that point now?
Oh, yeah.
You have an idea.
I forgot about that. So we were watching, I was watching Drive, Chip, and Putt yesterday, and I was like, they're missing something here. We need ball strikers. We need 120 to 160 yard shots. We need these kids throwing darts.
Yeah, because it's like, they drive it off the tee, they chip it close. I want to see who's going to hold up a pitching wedge into a right to left wind to a backhand pin.
Yes, who's hitting fades?
Put these kids in the crucible. Let's see it.
I don't want to see. He gets a chip in to win the chip part of it now. Like, let's move on. So I'm staking a claim. Like, maybe we can start it externally. The Junior Ball Strikers Championship.
We can't make it the drive, approach, chip, and putt.
JBC. No.
You want a separate entity?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I don't know. Augusta would have to welcome us in or just steal that idea.
I think we could just do the drive, approach, chip, and putt. Instead of the DCP, it's the DECPA.
Let it be said.
But I'm 100% right. I mean, what's the most important statistical going into Augusta National? Strokes gained approach. What are we missing?
What are we teaching these kids? They don't need that skill to win the green jacket.
It's very
someday?
important to win the green jacket.
I'm just saying.
I think it's a phenomenal idea.
Thank you.
I think it's a phenomenal idea.
Move on to number 29.
29. Siwoo Kim, 30 years old. 15th in data golf ranking, and he probably went up because I think he finished tied for 10th this week. Got off to a flying start on the West Coast swing with 4 straight finishes of tied 11th or better, including a tied for 2nd at the Farmers and a tied for 3rd at the WM Phoenix Open. He's always been a balls to the wall, fire at every pin, driver on every hole, driver off the deck type of guy, but he's trying to rein it in a bit this year, and perhaps that hyper-aggressive style explains the relatively poor record in majors. His T8 at last year's PGA Championship, how about this one? First top 10 in his 32nd major start. Only a few players who might sneak in an Amen Corner cigarette. That probably is a really nice one. Number 28 is Jason Day, 38 years old, 38th in data golf rankings. They match up again.
Like that.
He's made more headlines with his outfits than his golf in recent years, and that's not because the golf has been that bad. It's because the outfits have been very, very loud. He's got another one coming this week with the bird watching situation.
He's birding today.
Got a lot of birds. He began the season with a T2 in the desert and putted really nice en route to a T6 in his last start at Houston, but he's very reliant on the putter to have good finishes these days. His iron play ranks 128th on tour, and you simply cannot get away with poor iron play at Augusta. He also, let's not forget, nearly won the Masters in his first try way back in 2011 and finished T8 last year, so he does have a good Augusta history. Number 27 is Tyrrell Hatton. 34 years old, 68th in the data golf rankings. Pretty low for Tyrrell in recent years. One of the very precious few touring pros who has been outspoken about just not liking Augusta National. He says it's unfair and it's tricky, but he's figured something out the last few years. He was 9th in 2024 and tied for 14th in 2025. He's got a habit of going back home to Europe in the fall after the live season and posting some amazing finishes and pushing high up the world ranking. He did it again this year. But he hasn't contended for a live event yet in 5 starts, which, considering the level that he's at and his competition's at, isn't anything to write home about. And
I said Penge is your Thursday name.
Yeah.
He's your Saturday.
He's also included in that UK and Ireland bet.
That's true. But you're going to see Tyrrell Hatton's name on page 1 on Saturday. That's what he does.
Okay. Number 26 is Jordan Spieth, 32 years old, 31st in the data golf ranking. That's kind of my emotion with Jordan Spieth.
Another screenshot moment.
Screenshot was on Thursday.
With the rock?
Screenshot golfer was on Thursday.
Right away.
There's just always a fucking screenshot.
I'd
love to see him play one tournament without a screenshot. Maybe, him holding the trophy or him, that doesn't count. I'm talking about a screenshot where some weird shit's going on.
Let's have this be the screenshot.
Yeah, there's plenty of good in there. And there have been some solid finishes. I tied for 12th at Riviera, a tie for 11th at Bay Hill, a tie for 11th at Valspar. But we're talking about Jordan fucking Spieth right now, and I'm highlighting tied 11th, tied 12th. The standard has dropped. Just doesn't seem to be able to play 72 holes without making silly mistakes. But, and it's a big old but, he has 8 finishes of tied 14th or better in 12 career Masters starts. And Augusta's not as penal off the tee as the Florida courses. You can talk yourself into this one. You can always talk yourself into it with Spieth at Augusta.
He can always talk himself into whatever.
But you can really talk yourself into this one. Number 25, this is a guy who I'm actually genuinely very excited to watch play this week, Jake Knapp.
Yeah.
31 years old, 16th in the data golf rankings. How about that? He's having the best season of his career thus far with 7 finishes of tied 11th or better, including 6 top 10s in 8 starts. Pretty damn good. The season hit a speed bump at Bay Hill. He had to pull out with a back tweak, and then he missed the cut at the Players, so it was really nice to see him post a T6 at Houston in his final tune-up. With a swing that's half John Daly, half Fred Couples, it'll be a joy to watch him shape his ball around this iconic course. He's second in, you think of him as like hits at miles, he's second in strokes gained putting this year, just behind Jacob Bridgman. That's been crucial to his success. And he finished tied for 55th in 2024. I kind of like his game. Like he's not just a bomber. He's got the off-speed shots with the irons and the wedges. I have a good feeling about him.
Was that his first Masters last year?
Yeah.
Yeah. So he shook off the rust of the first jitters. Like,
time to ball.
I feel pretty good about you.
Yeah. Actually, no. It was 2 years ago. I don't think he played last year. It was tied for 50. I think he's played one Masters, but it was 2 years ago. All right. 24th, Shane Lowry, 38 years old, 30th in data golf. In an alternate universe, he has 2 wins in 2026, one on both sides of the pond. Unfortunately, we don't live in that universe.
He found a different part of the pond, unfortunately.
Yeah, that's it. Squandered a chance to win the Dubai Invitational. He had a greenside bunker shot on the last hole that he hit in the water, and then he blew the Cognizant Classic in spectacular fashion, coughing up a 4-shot lead with 3 holes to play, with 2 just banana slices, 2 of the worst golf swings you'll see a professional golfer make. He admitted recently this week that the pain lingered throughout the rest of the Florida swing, where he missed the cuts at both Bay Hill and the Players. He's making his 32nd consecutive start in a major. We just saw Tony Finau's streak end at 33. He's at 32 in a row. It's good. It's consistent. Number 23 is Adam Scott. 45 years old, 32 in the Data Golf rankings. Now, Justin Rose is the 45-year-old with more headline-grabbing performances, but it's actually Scott who's ranked higher in the Data Golf rankings. This guy gets faster every year, which is pretty incredible. He's been up near 190 per hour ball speed on multiple occasions. He's got a solo fourth at the Genesis on a course with some sort of Augusta-like tendencies, and it definitely feels like his career deserves a second major championship, and he had a good chance last year at the U.S. Open, just shot 79 on the last day. Physically, he's still very much able. I think he might be worth like a long shot, a little sprinkle on a long shot.
He's life maxing, dude.
Yeah.
He's going to play golf until he's 90 on tour.
He's doing everything really well. Number 22 is Min Woo Lee, 27 years old, 14th in the Data Golf rankings. The chef is cooking. He's cooking this year. A tie for second at Pebble Beach, a tie for 12th at Riviera, a tie for 6th at Bay Hill, and most recently, a tie for 3rd in Houston. He had some interesting comments this year about dialing back the speed during signature events because he's learned like you have to hit the fairway when it's penal. And last year was kind of a lost one in the majors, 49th in the Masters and missed cuts in the final 3. So he'll be chomping at the bit to get going, and this guy's never short on confidence or swagger.
Keep shaping it around that place.
Number 21, Nikolai Højgaard, 25 years old, 24th in the Data Golf rankings, having a really nice season. 3 top 10 finishes with a solo second to Gary Woodland, most recently at the Texas Children's Houston Open. Still just 25 and absolutely mashes it. He's 4th in ball speed at just under 188 miles per hour. Right behind his twin brother, who's in 3rd. He's also 9th in strokes gained overall this year. So he's slowly progressing as a pro. And with Ryder Cup experience, you'd think that no moment would be too big for him. I can see him having
that shirt tucked in, Nico.
Number 20, Brooks Koepka. 35 years old, 104th in the Data Golf rankings. He's back on the PGA Tour, and he was a really trendy sleeper pick after he went T9th at the Cognizant, T13 at the Players, T19 at the Valspar. I don't know if it's possible for a 5-time major winner to be a sleeper, but he was. Particularly encouraging to the Sharps was, he was leading the tour in strokes gained approach, but a lot of wind left the sails with a miscut in Houston. But let's remember, this is Brooks Koepka. He's a big game hunter. He doesn't shy away from the moment. And he's had plenty of good finishes at Augusta in the past, but he hasn't had a top 10 in a major since he won his 5th at Oak Hill in 2023. He's a guy I wouldn't be surprised if he had a chance on Sunday. It also wouldn't be a surprise if he misses the cut. It'll likely come down to the putter. Number 19, big riser in the rankings, JJ Spaun.
Oh, yeah.
35 years old, 34 in Data Golf ranking. That'll be up now because he won. Transformed himself from journeyman to major champion and Ryder Cupper last year, but there was a bit of a post-major swoon. He had missed 4 cuts with 0 top 20 finishes and 7 starts right before a win in San Antonio. This is just his 3rd Masters appearance. The putter had been particularly uncooperative as of late before that win in San Antonio. And he was on our show, so he gets the Dan on Golf bump. So he'll probably have a chance to win.
Tall task going back-to-back Valero Masters.
It is a tall task. It's been done, hasn't it?
I just looked that up, but Google didn't understand what I was asking.
What about chat? You want to try chat?
Yeah, well, keep going.
Okay.
I'll let you know.
Number 18, Chris Gotterup. He's 26 years old. He's 26th also in Data Golf ranking. Another matchup. He's the highest ranked rookie at number 9 in the world, and thus on paper, the player with the best chance to become the first Masters champion to win in their debut Masters since 1979. He plays with some New Jersey swagger, and he clearly does not mind the big moment with 3 wins in the last 9 months. He stared on Rory McIlroy to win the Scottish Open. He cruised to victory in the season opener at Sony, and he held his nerve to win the tour's most chaotic tournament at the WM Phoenix Open. And those are 3 very, very different golf courses. He picked up his first top 10 since those wins in his last start in Houston on a bomber's paradise. You'd think he'd make his first Team USA this year with the President's Cup. And a solid showing at the Masters would go a long way towards cementing his status as one of the very best players in the world. Big week for Chris.
No, nobody's ever gone Valero.
No one's ever done it?
Also, while I have you, go on Scratch.golf. Alan Shipnuck wrote an awesome profile of Chris Gotterup and ponders the question, is he the greatest golfer from New Jersey of all time?
That can't possibly.
Makes a good case.
Really?
Yeah.
They don't have a Hall of Famer?
It's an odd,
gap in the resume?
Yeah.
In New Jersey's resume?
Check it out. Read the story.
All right, we'll check it. Number 17, Russell Henley. 36 years old. He's 8th in the Data Golf rankings. He started working with Mark Blackburn last year, then missed the cut in his first 2 majors of the year and said, we're not doing this in a Ryder Cup year. Stopped working with him and tied for 10th in both the Open and the U.S. Open to secure a spot at Bethpage. He's a very, very consistent player. Seems to live inside the top 20. He's got 5 top 20s in 6 events this year and remains a top 10 player in both the Data Golf and the official World Golf rankings. A guy that the advanced metrics love, but doesn't come to mind when you think of threats to win huge tournaments. Just my 2 cents.
Yeah.
Number 16 is Victor Hovland. He's 28. He's 22nd in the Data Golf rankings. Finished tied for 13th at Bay Hill and the Players. So that suggested a turnaround after a slow start to the year, but he missed the cut at the Valspar, and that took some air out of the balloon. It's weird to see a player of his pedigree at his age, right in his prime, fall outside the top 20 in both the official rankings and the Data Golf rankings. It just seems like he's constantly in swing purgatory.
Yeah.
He's a big fan of changing coaches and quirky training aids. It's not necessarily bad, but what is bad, he's getting slower while everyone else is getting faster. So 2 years ago, his ball speed was 174.97. Last year, it was 173.95. This year so far, it's 170.72.
That's a pretty big drop.
What's going?
First drop's like fine, probably, but
I mean, it'll probably get a little faster as it gets hotter in the summer. But his ranking, like his relative ranking, has gotten a lot slower.
He's also one of these guys, and you've named a bunch of them already. It's like their historical performance or their performance this season doesn't matter as much as like how well they play at Augusta. And like he's a guy that you see play pretty well.
Yeah, he was the low amateur that year. I remember that. Number 15, Jacob Bridgman, 26 years old, 17th in the Data Golf rankings. He's a rookie. The breakout star of the season so far. He led the FedEx Cup standings entering Valero. I think he still leads it. And all 8 finishes, he's played 8 tournaments, all 8 have been T18 or better. He showed serious guts to win Tiger's event at Riviera, and he just kept plugging along. Tied for 5th at the Players since then. He's 2nd in strokes gained overall, and he's having just a lights-out putting campaign. He's getting 1.339 per round. Now, he's unlikely to sustain that pace. There's just one player in the last decade has finished with over a shot gained for a full year, and that was Jason Day in 2016, one of the all-time best putting years.
Big year, yeah.
Masters debut, but he has played the course a few times back when he was at Clemson. I have him on as my highest debutant. Number 14, Hideki Matsuyama, 34 years old, 12th in the Data Golf rankings, 4 straight top 11 finishes to start the year before some kind of meh play in Florida. He's coming in under the radar, as he always seems to do. His one and only major came at Augusta, and he has 9 top 20 finishes in his last 11 starts at the Masters, so he also plays Augusta super well. He's got a growing reputation as one of the game's great short gamers after building one as a ball striker in the front half of his career. The driver can be pretty erratic these days, but again, at Augusta, you got room to recover, so I think he can get away with spraying it a little bit. Number 13 is Akshay Bhatia, 24 years old, 19th in the Data Golf rankings. Ashtray.
He's not going by Ashtray this week. He's got Akshay on the invitation.
That's right. There's never been any doubt as to his talent level. He played in the Walker Cup at 17, and he took a lot of flack when he decided to turn pro rather than play college golf, but he's blossoming into a world-class player this year. Got the biggest win of his career with a gutsy back 9, 31 at Bay Hill, and followed it up with a T13 at the Players. He's sponsored by Hero, which explains why he then got on a plane to India and missed the cut at the Hero Indian Open. Very finicky golf course. I'm not looking into that result at all. Lefties have a long and storied history at Augusta, and he and Robert McIntyre are in a battle for the title of best lefty playing right now. Only 2 Masters appearances, kind of so-so in both, but he's a different level player than he was back then. Okay. Number 12 is Justin Rose.
My pick.
Yes, your pick. I like it. You had that pick at the beginning of the year, and you're sticking by it. 45 years old, 35 in the Data Golf rankings. No one's been closer to winning the Masters without a green jacket than Justin Rose. I said, what the Ryder Cup is to Keegan Bradley, the Masters is to Justin Rose. He loves it. It just keeps teasing him.
Qualitatively, like the best Sunday at Augusta last year, not named Rory McIlroy.
He's got 3 runner-up finishes and 2 playoff losses, including last year to Rory McIlroy. And there's no tournament he wants to win more. He's clearly still a threat on his on weeks where he's up for it. He dominated at Torrey Pines this year, and no one works harder to stay at the top level deep into his 40s. That said, there isn't the week-to-week consistency that there was when he was world number 1. He's missed the cut in 3 of 6 starts on tour this year, so there's still missed cuts in there. But if there's one week where you know that he's just going to be in it, it's this one.
If his season's ebbing and flowing, he ebbed and flowed at the right time. He's on his way up.
He'd be a real feel-good winner.
Yeah.
45 years old, been so close to winning the Masters so many times. Again, a guy like Adam Scott, who's only got 1 major, a second major would go a long way.
They'd be happy to slip a green jacket on and know that he's there forever.
Yeah, classy guy. Number 11, speaking of classy guys, Patrick Reed. He is 35 years old. He's 47th in the Data Golf ranking, but that's because he's playing against DP World Tour fields. It's hard to get really high. He's going to be really confident. What a few months it's been. So he wins his first Rolex Series event on the DP World Tour at the Hero Dubai Desert Classic. Then he made some, we've called them flirty comments about being open to return to the PGA Tour. Then he confirms he's done with LIV and coming back. Then he follows up that one with a T2 in Bahrain and a win at the Qatar Masters to basically ensure he'll have full status in 2027 through the DP World Tour's pathway. He's made just 2 starts since then, both in South Africa, tie for 29th and a tie for 10th. He lacks the top level starts to really pop on the advanced metrics, but he's full of confidence in returning to a place that he loves.
Literal home.
Rick just told us that I think he's the 4th best Masters player since his win.
Since 2018.
So, and he's got more public support than he's had in years. I think he's going to enjoy, the reception that he gets.
He's never gone in here with better vibes around his personality.
Yeah, he's an intriguing prospect this week. Number 10 is Cameron Young. I'm maybe not as high on him as Rick is, but maybe I should be because Rick had him to win the Players Championship and he won. He's 28 years old. He's 5th in the data golf ranking. So he finally delivered on his all-world potential in a massive way at the Players, where he won the biggest title of his career in macho fashion with that drive and approach shot on 18. And it wasn't out of nowhere. It was building. Came into that week with a tie for 7th at Riviera and a tie for 3rd at Bay Hill. Plenty of early major success in his career too, with 2 top 5 finishes in 2022. And you got to think that winning the Players, it's going to unlock a newfound swagger and confidence. He had back-to-back top 10s in this event before missing the cut last year, so there's good Masters history there. Opted for 3 weeks off after the Players rather than keeping the hot hand going, so he'll be rested. He's got a lot of young kids at home. He's ready to go. Number 9, Tommy Fleetwood, 35 years old, number 6 in the data golf rankings. There's been more curiosity on his sartorial choices than anything else this year as his Nike era ended in 2025. He's yet to sign with an apparel sponsor, but he does have a hat sponsor, and we talked a lot about it last week. Started the year with 2 whatever weeks in his home of Dubai, but he's bounced back with 4 top 10 finishes. He was tied for 10th this week in his last 5 starts, all in signature events. No, that's not true. He has 3 top 10s in his last 5 starts in signature events and a top 10 in the Valero Texas Open. And his family were able to get out of Dubai safely, which is huge. His best ever finish at the Masters came with local Augusta National caddy Gray Moore on the bag. He's now done everything in world golf besides win a major championship. Could it be his time?
It would be a great time.
It would be a great time. Number 8 is Rory McIlroy. 36 years old, the defending champion, number 3 in the data golf rankings, fucking finally got it done last year. I mean, put everyone, and including himself, through the roller coaster of all roller coasters on that Sunday. Doubled the first hole, played incredible. The rest of the front 9 led by 4 after he birdied 10. And then he gets to 13. Hits one of the worst shots ever. Hits one of the best shots ever on 15. Misses the putt. Birdie 17. You remember by now. But he entered last year feeling incredible about his game. He had won Pebble Beach and TPC Sawgrass. This year, it's a different story. He was solid on the West Coast, but he had to withdraw from Bay Hill with a back injury. Then was never a factor at the Players, tie for 46th. He also opted against adding another start before what is sure to be a very emotional week. I saw him use Saturday at the Anwa, Sunday at the Drive, Chip, and Putt. Tuesday, he's got the Champions Dinner. Let's just hope he doesn't get too deep into that very fancy wine.
I know better now than to try to predict his emotions going into this week.
Yeah.
Like, there's no way to predict, like, whether we get, like, proud, relaxed, maybe going to go back-to-back Rory, or, like, I'm over it. I don't know. Read Allen's book. You'll get all the shades of Rory.
It depends, like, solely on one thing, and that is how he's feeling that day. And it's pretty damn hard to predict that. Okay, number 7 is Robert McIntyre. 29 years old, 9th in the data golf rankings. He's a contender. He's certainly a contender. Solo 4th of the Players, proved there's no field too big for him, and he followed it up with an excellent performance. Left it a little late, but eagled 17 when he needed to, and had a putt for it last week to get into a playoff. And if you go back further, he picked up a significant win at the Alfred Dunhill Links Championship last fall. He does not shy away when he's in contention, and he's an excellent putter, gaining ground on the field in every start he's made on the PGA Tour this year. Missed the cut at the Masters last year, but gave JJ Spaun his best shot at the U.S. Open, and he picked up a 5th career major top 10 at Royal Portrush. Can he be the next in a long and storied history of lefties at Augusta National? We'll have to see. Number 6 is Xander Schauffele, 32 years old, 4th in the data golf ranking. He won his last start of 2025, then welcomed his first child and kind of sleptwalked through the West Coast. He missed his first cut, broke a streak of over 70 in a row at the Farmers Insurance Open. He has since shaken off the rust. Solo 3rd at the Players and a T4 at the Valspar, so all systems seem to be firing heading into the year's first major. He's a great history at Augusta. 2 top 3 finishes and top 10s in each of the past 3 years.
Always shows up.
There is perhaps no better bet, as you just said. There is perhaps no better bet to finish in the top 10, and a win this week would very, very quietly bring him 3/4 of the way to the career Grand Slam.
Low key.
Could happen. Number 5, Ludwig Åberg. Rough start to the year. He got sick again in California, which is just kind of crazy.
Didn't you ask him at Pebble, were you allergic to California?
Yeah, he was like, maybe. but that's been washed away by some excellent play in his adopted home states, Florida and Texas. He lives in Florida, tied for third at Bay Hill before building a big lead through 54 holes at TPC Sawgrass. He unraveled at the back 9. Then in Texas, not far away from Texas Tech, where he went to college, he was in the mix, had a lead at one point on Sunday. You know, people are hammering him. He ended up shooting 70. It wasn't like a horrific round. He finished strong, but he's an excellent history at Augusta National. Nearly won his first ever major appearance in 2024 and found himself with a chance to win the tournament on a chaotic Sunday last year. A major championship is the next step in his career. It could absolutely happen this week. He's playing great. Number 4, Matt Fitzpatrick. 31 years old, 7th in data golf ranking. What a week that was for the Fitzpatrick family.
Talk about someone who's jumped in the rankings from last year to this year, your rankings.
Big time. Yeah, so Matt won the Valspar with a birdie on 18 for his 3rd PGA Tour title, and then 7 days later, Alex wins his first DP World Tour title at the Hero Indian Open. And Matt's win came just a week after he finished his solo 2nd at the Players. He's hitting his irons better than he ever has. That work with Mark Blackburn. He's got this like soft cut that he didn't have before. And he's 7th on tour in strokes gained approach. His previous best finish in that category, 48th.
Whoa.
Yeah. And he's had so much success this year despite his putting, which is historically a strength. He's in the negative in strokes gained for the whole year putting. He adores Augusta, favorite golf course, and he's putted very well there in the past. If he pairs the ball striking of 2026 with the putting of pre-2026, he's absolutely a threat to win the tournament. Number 3, the big golfer, Bryson DeChambeau. 32 years old, 10th in the data golf ranking. He comes in off back-to-back wins on Live Golf in Hong Kong and South Africa. And look, you can only beat what's in front of you. And he's doing that. And he has already proven that, you know, he can play Live Golf and win a major championship. He did it at Pinehurst. And he's had chances to win each of the past 2 Masters after not threatening at all in his first 7 trips down Magnolia Lane. Remember, there was the whole par 68. He couldn't finish better than the tie for 21st. He finished as an amateur. But he said he's learned how to approach the course, kind of dial it back. He can't just bludgeon his way to the top at Augusta. He's been a mainstay on major leaderboards the last 2 years with 6 top 10 finishes, including 3 top 2 finishes in his last 8 attempts. 6 top 10s in his last 8 majors. And he got a front row seat to Rory McIlroy's coronation last year, and you better believe he wants to put that green jacket all over YouTube. Can you imagine? Can I beat Grant Horvat with a Costco set while wearing the green jacket? They have to. It wouldn't happen because Augusta has to approve.
You'd have to put it back.
Well, no, Augusta has to approve like what you wear the green jacket in.
Oh, really?
But it's a fun idea.
Well, we may see. There's a really good chance we may see.
There's a possibility. Number 2 is John. Can you just imagine the YouTube video? I won the Masters.
First one ever.
Yeah. Number 2 is John Rahm, another Live guy. We got Live guys, 2 of the top 3. 31 years old, number 2 in the data golf ranking. It sure feels like he has something to prove this week. He's in an old-fashioned standoff with the DP World Tour. He doesn't want them to be able to tell him how many times that he has to play. He's standing firm. And he had a terrible 2024 in the majors right after going to Live Golf. But it's been a little bit better. T14 last year at Augusta and then top 10s at both the PGA Championship and the US Open. He's finished outside the top 10 just once in his Live career, which is insane. But also kind of a testament to maybe it's not that hard for him. And he hasn't finished outside the top 5 in any start this year. Absolutely a threat, especially with a little chip on the shoulder. What do you think, Ben?
Maybe more so than any year before, even the year that he won it.
Yeah.
I think
he's ready to go. Number 1, my pick to win. I'm sticking with him. You guys thought I was going to ditch Scotty after a couple bad weeks and a couple, edgy press conference answers? Absolutely not. Scotty Scheffler, 29 years old, data golf number 1. The game's top dog, but yeah, he's coming in off 3 consecutive finishes outside the top 10 after 18 consecutive finishes inside the top 10. His swing looked totally out of sorts in Florida. And the sharp eyes of Brandel Chambly caught some differences from his 2025 season. He then withdrew from the Houston event for the birth of Remy, his second child. So, the perspective will be, perspectiving. No one has played this course better over the past half decade, and he can put rest any sort of debate about a mini slump with a little 68 on Thursday. I really think it's coming. I have no doubt that he and Rennie Smith will sort out the ball striking. And here's a piece of positivity heading into the week. He has gained strokes putting in each of his last 12 starts. Remember when that was an issue?
Oh.
I would be more concerned if he was putting shit and he was hitting the ball well. I think he's Scotty Scheffler. It's always something really simple with him, a little grip change. Maybe his setup got a little bit off. I'm sure he's fixed it. He's at Augusta with a newborn baby, healthy, in tow. Everything's great.
No one can leverage that perspective like him.
I picked him to start the year. I'm sticking with it. That's everybody.
That's it.
That's not it. We got more.
No, I'm saying that's it. That's 91 players.
That is
in order.
91 players in order. We have broken down every damn player in the Masters. Wow.
I hope it was helpful.
It was helpful. I'm sure it was. You know what's also helpful? Amazon. You can get anything on Amazon, Ben. Let me talk about this. Yes. And now it's like the golf shop. They have the Amazon Golf Shop, which has everything from high-performance equipment to apparels to accessories. It's a one-stop destination for the heritage brand golfers know, like TaylorMade, Callaway, and Titleist, but they also have newer names which make it simple to find items that fill all skill levels and playing styles. Amazon is running limited time deals on golf gear during Masters Week. Again, it's the start of spring. This is the time to do it. So whether you're a longtime player or just getting into the sport, Amazon makes it easy to discover both the classics and the next big thing in golf all in one convenient place. I also wanted to mention you can get 25% off of new Arcos products. So they have their new smart laser rangefinder and Air. It allows you to track every shot in real time and get AI-powered recommendations. 25% off. So check it out on Amazon.com/golf. New Arcos products, as well as everything else. If you get the new Arcos product, add the tech to your cart and enter code Arcos at checkout. You get a discount. 25%. That's a fourth. Valid through April 16th. Just go to Amazon.com/golf. All right, we are going to finish with chirps from the gallery. Let's roll this first one, Mr. Rory McIlroy. This is just an incredible post.
I can't believe they made him do this.
As a kid growing up in Northern Ireland, I dreamed of winning all 4 majors. Being able to bring these trophies home was truly surreal. There's all 4 major trophies on a rock, a beautiful rock in Northern Ireland. It's just like hard. Like imagine showing 9-year-old Rory that picture. That picture. It just like stopped me in my tracks. Like, holy shit.
My first thought was like, it looks like a Game of Thrones like art. Like he's like sitting on the throne. Yeah. And my second thought was he put on that jacket and brought those trophies out into the pouring rain and put them on those rocks.
Is it pouring? Is that what that?
Yeah.
Are you sure it's not just seawater? I think it's a splash.
Oh,
there's sun out.
All right, thank God.
But still,
he's in the splash zone. Yeah, the Masters Trophy could be going out into the sea, man.
It's just an incredible.
It is epic, though.
Yeah, he had this quote also. I think it was last year, where he was like, "Growing up, my goals were to win all the majors and be number 1 in the world, and I've done that." It's like, whoa, that's sick.
Epic.
Next one, Willie Wilcox. We posted our Willie Wilcox's guide to Augusta, and Steve says Wave God Wednesday. I think we need a weekly Willie segment. I would
be opposed.
I would do it. More Willie. He's driving to Augusta National, and this is the most Willie message you could ever get. As I approach Augusta on I-20, I pause and think, tight. I'm going to Augusta National right now. And
you should send him a video when you're on I-20 tonight.
Tight. Through. Just say tight. I'm going. I could just see him saying that. You know. I can see it in my head. Out loud. Yeah. JJ Spaun, the cuts. Jake Knapp's lifting coach says, damn, I can't believe I didn't bet JJ Spaun to win this week because his 3 finishes when he's made the cut was a tie for 40th at the Sony Open, a tie for 45th out of like 80 players at Pebble Beach, and a tie for 24th at the Players. He had missed the cut in the Valspar. It just shows that, what Rick does is hard to do.
Yes.
What Rick does is very hard to do. We said this as soon as he started doing the interview. They couldn't have given my man a bag to stand on, or like the other guy couldn't have gotten on his knees. Todd Lerfondler, MD, winning the Texas Open just to get brutally frame mogged. It was
3 seconds after we saw it.
Well, the frame mog joke is like it's become mainstream now, but that is the definition of frame mogging right now. And then our last one, I think we already shared this. Oh no, here we go. I like this one. Shane Ryan, he would never talk about someone's children. As a consummate pro, I've avowedly stayed away from Scheffler's children content, but I saw the name, and I have 2 pressing questions I need to ask someone at Augusta, or someone to Augusta to ask. 1, Jeremy Remington or just Remy? And 2, be honest, was Ratatouille the inspiration? Probably not.
Oh, I'm thinking it's, Remington Rifles.
Remington?
Texas boy? Texas
yeah, but I think they would have released Remington if it was,
that's a sick name.
Yeah, it is a sick name. And that was
a friend with a dog named Remington.
Sick episode. But before we go, we're going to talk about Zone Nicotine. Warning, this product contains nicotine. Nicotine is an addictive chemical, underage sale prohibited. Golf's all about having the right club for the right situation. The same goes for Zone nicotine pouches, offering a variety of bold flavors available in strengths of 6 milligrams and 9 milligrams. Whether you're a fan of dragon fruit like me, I'm a dragon fruit guy, have it with me here, or you like mint, citrus, or subtle, you're sure to find intensity and flavor that last. And do you want some Zone pouches at a discount mailed right to your door? Get 20% off at nicokick.com/zone, nicokick.com/zone when you use promo code DanOnGolf20. We are going to leave you guys and head to the airport for our pilgrimage to Augusta National with a clip of the week. It's from the drive chip and putt, which hopefully soon will be the drive approach chip and putt. And this kid's he won and he's about to party. I love you guys. We'll see you in Augusta.
Now that you're a champion, what are we doing to celebrate?
Probably we're gonna party all night and Probably me and my family are gonna have dinner.
Dinner and then party. That sounds like a great plan. Congratulations.
Thank you.